Boom.
Might as well, Craig.
Let's get this thing cracking smacking, baby.
It's third day of free agency,
Yeah, yes
11
indeed.
o'clock at night.
We are live here on the Nature Sports Network. Hey, third day, man. Huge day for everybody, man. All around Redskins Nation, they are celebrating, man, bringing in the great leader of the Legion of Boom, Bobby Wagner. The middle linebacker, man, he got a lot of people around this area juiced up, all the way juiced. So, the guys, y'all already know here at the Nature Sports Network, we are going to be on it and all the way in it, baby. Let you know everything that's going on around Redskins Nation. We also got some other signings that has taken place. So I just want to go over those, try to get some numbers to y'all early, so that we can see exactly how this thing has unfolded today, numbers wise and everything else wise. So, Bobby Wagner, since we started there, let's start there. Bobby Wagner, 33 years old, signed with Washington. He is getting $8.5 million a year. And we got him for 1 year right now. And I guess that might have seemed like it was for himself, just my assumption, just so that he can get another big payday throughout the NFL. And, and,
Nah,
and
I think
again,
he on the
and
verge of
again,
retirement.
well, that's what we thought about London Fletcher, but London Fletcher gave us some good years at the end of his career. He was quite dominant, in fact.
Yeah.
So I liken that to the same. It's not only London Fletcher did that. Wilbur Marshall also came late in his career like that. Not Henry Allen. 57. Y'all know who I'm talking about, Redskins.
Wilbur
Ken
Marshall.
Harvey. Ken Harvey. Ken Harvey.
Yeah.
Ken Harvey.
Okay.
Ken Harvey gave us some good years late at linebacker spot. So we've had older linebackers has worked around these parts. So that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Also, the Redskins today signed Jamison Crowder to a 1 year deal. So he will be back with the team. Redskins also today re-signed Jeremy Reeves. So, which we discussed over the last couple days as well. He will be back with the team, and he got 2 years on his deal. Sadiq Charles is gone to the Tennessee Titans. He is out the door. And that's the basic movement that's happened today. And just to give everybody a full recap, we've of who we've signed, just so that y'all can get a full picture of what's going on in free agency. We got Dorrance Armstrong from the Dallas Cowboys, Frank Louvu from the Carolina Panthers, a linebacker, Tyler Biadasz, center from the Dallas Cowboys, Nick Allegretti, a guard from the Kansas City Chiefs. We got Bobby Wagner from the Seattle Seahawks, Austin Eckler from the LA Chargers. We had also got Marcus Mariota from the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeremy Chin from the Carolina Panthers, uh, uh, Furl from the San Francisco 49ers, the defensive end, Cleveland Furl from the San Francisco 49ers, the defensive end. We re-signed Jeremy Reeves. We re-signed Jamison Crowder. And we also got Dante Fowler from the Dallas Cowboys, the defensive end.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Yeah. I really like the moves we made so far. In the at first I was on the fence, and to me, Bobby Wagner kind of sealed in what they were doing. To me, what
absolutely.
they did in free agency was focus on the the defensive line and focus on the offensive line. Focus on up front first. Okay, we already have a couple skill position players, and that's what we did first. Austin Eckler, for me, is a third down back that can play first and second. He may be a better third down than the first and second back, but he can go all three downs, and we still got Robinson. It's not like he went anywhere. You know what I mean? So Bobby Wagner to me was the biggest free agent pickup that we had. Even though he's an older guy, Bobby ain't young no more. You know what I'm saying? But what Bobby is going to do is bring that defense together, and we know him and Dan Quinn got a rapport. You know what I mean? They've already had greatness together. And guess what? He tried to get Bobby Wagner when he went to Atlanta. It didn't work out. You know what I mean? And he probably tried to get him in Dallas. In Dallas, it didn't work out with Dallas either. But guess what he did do? He came right on to Washington. And I'm happy about that.
What you
Yeah,
got, Big Star on Wagner?
I'm ecstatic about Bobby Wagner being here in Washington, man. It's just like we just got a shot in the arm of we know what we're doing now, or we got a sense of what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So for me, they spent money like I would spend money in free agency on Mad. You know, to really put my team together when I need to, quote unquote, as Dan Quinn says, recalibrate the team. So the recalibration that they put in place by getting rid of all of these cancers that we had in the building. We still got a little bit of cancer. We need some chemo treatment around here. But I like the order that they put in for the doc and Doc's plan to rejuvenate the the members of the team, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, in so many words, we got Brian Robinson still with Eckler, and we still had a young boy, Christopher Rodriguez. You know, so we got a nice running back room now. Uh, uh, we signed a backup quarterback that I think,
Marcus
in my
Mariota.
eyes, was a good pick. I really like Mariota. In his Oregon days as a Duck. So
Yeah.
to bring him on board and make him a Washington Redskin, I really like that as well. So you
Yeah.
know, it's very exciting to see what these minds are finally coming to the table and bringing to the table. It's just exciting around here. We haven't had this much excitement in free agency since I don't know when. Probably the D Hall year, or maybe the Clinton Portis year. I don't know
Nah,
when, but
man. I'm gonna be real. I think that this is even better than a couple of those years because of the other players we got. Like,
no, it's better. But I'm just saying we haven't
yeah.
seen nothing. No, we haven't seen
Okay.
a migration like this since like back then. You know what I'm saying? It's
I mean, no,
always
I think RG3 second year with D Jack and all of them came in.
we ain't make moves like this though, bro.
Man, we made
Not
a
like
lot of
this.
moves. We made a lot of moves that year.
Yeah, we drafted. That was the year we drafted Jordan Reed.
I'm
Yep.
talking about a free agency. We
Yeah,
didn't splash like we splashed this year, and no years recent. Probably since I'm telling you, since that D Hall joint.
All right.
People may say Albert Hainsworth, but I
Nah,
don't really believe. Remember splashing in free agency that year. I think D Hall
nah.
was the year.
We was happy about Albert Hayworth when he came in. 3-4 games in the season, he laid down. We was like, oh no, they even got us for the bag. They even got us for the bag.
They tried to warn us.
Yeah, they did. They
They
did.
tried to warn us about
They
Hainsworth,
did. They did. Hey,
but they had to
so
get.
so what I'm saying is now, as far as edge rusher, like I don't know because Luvu played edge and he played middle, and with Bobby Wagner, I don't know if he still plays middle. I think remember what I was saying last night about him being more like a Mika Parsons, where they gonna move him around, they gonna do a lot with him as far as on that offensive line. That's his Mika Parsons. I can almost guarantee it. Luvu, watch, mark my words.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I
and
agree.
then we still got the safety too. What's Shorty name from the Panthers? He a big
Jeremy
body.
Chin,
Yeah,
yeah,
Jeremy Chan.
and he came with Luvu, so they know each other language too. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? They know each other
yep,
gridiron language, so that's a
Okay,
good plus right there in
yep,
itself. You know,
yeah.
okay. So on the
So
2013 season, this is the one D Hall was talking about. Not D Hall. This is the one Big Son was talking about. We signed Deveray Henderson in the offseason. We signed Dante Stallworth. We signed Pat White at quarterback. We re-signed Rex Grossman, re-signed D'Angelo Hall, re-signed Fred Davis. We signed Daryl Tapp at defensive end, and we signed E.J. Beggars at cornerback. Okay, and now we re-signed Tyler Columbus. We re-signed Brian Kill. We signed Jeremy Trueblood at offensive tackle. We got Lorenzo Alexander from the Cardinals that year. We re-signed Sav Rocker, the punter. We re-signed Kedrick Ghostin.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We remember those guys.
We signed Chris Baker. We re-signed Rob Jackson. That was one of my favorite players. We re-signed Darrell Young, the fullback, and then we cut DJ Johnson.
Yeah, it sounds like we spent a lot.
It was like 4 re-signs, but we got players like Lorenzo Alexander, Big Swag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those players came in.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna be real. In my opinion, I don't know how well we work out, so I can't say that this is the best team and all of that, right?
No, I'm not saying the best team. I'm talking about the migration of movement and free agency.
No, I know. I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is that I think that this is unprecedented, in my opinion. I don't think we've ever seen nothing like this ever, to be real. Because for Bobby Wagner to come over, right? And don't get me wrong, Bobby Wagner, older player. A lot of teams probably weren't looking at him because of his age, right? But for Bobby Wagner to come over, right? You got Bobby, you got Louvu. Those 2 players on your defense can make dominance right there. You know what I mean?
And Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin is underrated.
Yeah,
he
I mean
Jeremy
Chin too. But when I'm looking at 200 plus tackles between 2 players, that is crazy.
Yeah, Jeremy Chin had 90 tackles, bro.
I mean, that's 300 tackles. That means, listen, the thing is that that's a beautiful thing. That means all of these guys can actually tackle. These guys.
And we haven't had that around here in a long time.
What, man? They be slipping through tackles left and right around this jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Barton was made that must have been his press release, because that's all he was doing. Missing tackles.
Yeah, I totally
Mr.
agree.
Barton.
I totally agree. Now, let me ask y'all about this linebacking core. What y'all feel about the linebacking core?
Can I say, ooh? That's a nasty linebacking core right there.
I think it's excellent right now. Because, I mean, when you got Bobby, you already got you a good Mike, right? And if you add Louvu, you add a lot of these other players. You know what I'm saying?
And then Jamin Davis, we still got Jamin. He ain't playing the mic no more. They're going to actually put him where he play at. Watch how good he is this shit. Watch. Yeah. He ain't got to make up for everybody else's mistakes. Watch how good Jamin Davis is this shit.
Yeah.
Y'all think that let me ask y'all about this. What do y'all expect out of Bobby Wagner? Okay, we got Wagner. What are you expecting out of him? Let's look at his numbers from last year. Let me find his numbers from last year. But go ahead.
He had 188 tackles last year, bro, combined. 188 tackles combined last year. I think he had 5.5 sacks, or maybe 3.5.
At 32, 33 years old.
Yeah. 188, bro. The nigga in 10 years, he ain't went under 130 tackles.
He had
the last 10 years.
He had 183 tackles. He had 183 with 96 of them were solo. And he had 3.5 sacks. Bobby Wagner did. No interceptions, no touchdowns. But those are amazing stats, to be honest. That's right now, that is his best year of his career.
Yeah, it's 100. Was it 183? I thought it was 183.
183.
That's a lot of tackles.
That is. That's an extremely.
And at his age, he pushing P right now. Straight up. At his age, he pushing P on the field.
Bobby
straight
Wagner
up
is
yeah.
Is like that. The reason to me is because, again, we were just talking, again, like you said, bro, maybe they listening. We were talking last night about how good London Fletcher was for our defense, how much we haven't had a player like that here in such a long time. Cole Holcomb was definitely official at that spot. It took some time for me to grow to him, but the London Fletchers didn't take time to grow. They were immediate impacts right away. And I love the Louisville pick. So this now steps on. I mean, this helps me agree with what Leo was saying last night about Louisville being outside and possibly having that Michael Parsons role. Because I wanted to hit you today point and tell you that you was probably head on point with that by signing Bobby Wagner. That now moves Louisville to where he can make plays all over the field.
Yep.
And hold on real quick. What you were looking at the other day, or what we was talking about 2 seasons ago with London, not London, with Landon Collins. That's what Jeremy Chin role is going to be.
Right.
You play that nickel and he played close to the line.
Because he used to play linebacker. His first year was a linebacker.
They had him listed as our basically our ATH. He's gonna play some linebacker, safety, and some corner or slot corner / safety from right there. Some some strong safety and linebacker.
I mean, look. Honestly, I really think that if we want to overkill, we should be going after Devin White right now.
I don't think you do. I think you draft.
I'm about to say the draft is crazy right now.
But see, I agree. I agree with drafting. I do agree with drafting.
Hey, and Jeremiah Trotter gonna be on that board when we draft him too. He's gonna be right there.
To the Eagles. If I'm gonna assume right, the way that Joey Porter Jr. went to the Steelers, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is probably gonna go to the Eagles.
He played for us too, though.
He played for us.
I do know he played with us,
but he made his name with the Eagles. I understand.
I only would assume he would not go to Philly if there was bad blood. I don't remember him leaving on any bad blood.
He fought McNabb. You don't remember?
That was Hugh Douglas. That was
Yeah, that was Hugh Douglas. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There's
McNabb was an asshole though.
There's an opportunity for us to get him as well. Jeremiah Trotter is not the most interesting name, but I do feel like he falls within line of our where we drafted.
Right.
Yeah, he does. He fell on my board a couple times.
Now, I think that because of the loss of Sweat and Young, just my assumption, because I don't know what Dan Quinn may want to do himself, but I would assume that they would go edge rusher before middle linebacker with having
Darius. Yep. Darius Robinson.
Yeah, because you got Louisville that can play that middle.
Right.
And even if you say that Jamin is going to be here and you pick up another edge rusher, let's say that Bobby retires after this season and you need to move Louisville to the middle. He'll learn everything that he needs to from the film and from being on the same team as him as well.
Exactly. I think it was a power move, man. Superpower. I honestly think we have won free agency. I think Bryce Huff and Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles, that's another that they comparable. You know what I mean? But I think for what we've done, we've really overhauled. We got a middle core of y'all seen the joint I posted in the group chat where it had the center and the 2 guards. You know what I mean?
Right.
We didn't lock the middle of our line up as far as offensive
and defense, though. We locked the middle of the lineup in defense. Clelin Ferrell, Mathis, Payne, Allen, and you add Armstrong in the mix along with Hill and a couple of the guys. Like, our defensive line is not. I won't say it's better than with Chase and Sweat. What I will say is that we have depth.
Oh yeah, we got
versatility
with them.
A lot of versatility as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Fowler. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Fowler in there.
And Fowler's gonna go. He's gonna go unrecognized because of how many other names we have on the line.
Yeah,
maybe, but you know, Fowler. Think about it. He's coming off the bench getting 4 or 5 sacks, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I mean, though. I mean that the ways that those players can come in. I remember what we were saying about Armstrong. I wrote was like he wasn't sure about Armstrong, his production being a starter. Well, guess what? You know, you don't have to have that responsibility of being the only guy that's going to attack the quarterback this game.
Yeah,
I agree.
That was to me. That's why. And don't get me wrong. Like I used to tell y'all, I wasn't hard on Sweat because I didn't want him to succeed it was based on what Rose said when we first got him. Is where he got drafted at. When you get picked like Kwame Brown at the top of the board, you have to excel. That's the only thing that's expected for you is to do is to succeed when you get picked that high. There's teams are investing the highest price point at those picks. So if you get picked right there, we expect you to show out. I don't care if they pick the kicker at number 2. We expect you to go out and hit 50 kicks this year. Don't miss any if you get picked at number 2.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was picked in the last part of the draft. That's why there was no expectation for him. If he failed and did bad, guess what? He just needs to do a little bit better. He's expected to. He wasn't a first-round draft pick. Look at all the things. Daniel Jones, he got picked. He has high expectation, and I don't know why the Giants haven't been at harder on him, because that's like remember I told y'all when we got Haskins. I thought that was the unfair the unfair media critique that he was getting because he got picked later in the draft. He didn't get picked early like he was supposed to.
He was 7. He was the number 7 overall.
The first 5 picks are where you are judged at. After that, your first round pick is still judged, but it's not judged like right there. And for the Giants to pick earlier than us and not go with Haskins, I don't see how Daniel Jones has not been critiqued more when Haskins was critiqued, if not way more than anybody I've seen in a long time.
Right. No, I agree with you about Daniel Jones. I'm saying for me, it's top 10. You go top 10. I mean, that's just my own personal preference. If you go top 10, we expect you to be at least I do. I expect you to be a world changer. And not a regular player.
That's understandable. Do you think that Daniel Jones at 5 was supposed to get $140 million from the Giants?
No. Not if I'm gonna say this though. This going back on my point. If you do give somebody that amount of money, then you need to understand that you're gonna have to build around that player to give them whatever it is that they'll need in order to succeed. I think that is, to me, that's money where you have to make a person your catalyst and you're building around that player.
And you had receivers there when you drafted him. Maybe not the greatest, but you had a number 1 and everything at that time. He ended up leaving. You have Saquon Barkley, even though not the healthiest back. You had a prime Saquon Barkley that you were able to lean on when we were trying to get the running back position together. Not even comparing them to us, but Daniel Jones had, when we got AP, they had Saquon Barkley. So the same help that we had, Daniel Jones had. The only difference between Daniel Jones and Haskins is that Daniel Jones ran when things got little out of hand or when he got in trouble. No, he ran pretty. He did have like 700 yards in one season. You know what I'm saying? But he ran the ball when he got in trouble, and Haskins didn't. Haskins tried to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that him scrambling, because remember, Daniel Jones doesn't have a lot of wins. That one year they went to the playoffs, that's the most wins he has in his entire career in one season.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got a draft spot.
I absolutely agree. Just to go over Bobby Wagner's numbers, we just gonna go just to lock in on this pick right now. You know what I mean?
Y'all finish. Let me know, because I got a question about the Eagles wide receiver signing.
Okay. So Bobby Wagner, before he was with the Seahawks, last year he was with the Seahawks and had 183 tackles. The year before that, he was with the Rams. He had 140 tackles, 59 solo, 6 sacks in that season, 2 interceptions. The season before that, 170 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. The season before that, 138 tackles. The season before that, 159. Season before that, 138. Season before that, 133. Season before that, 167. Season before that, 114. Season before that, 104. Season before that, 120. Season before that, 140. This man is the catalyst of consistency. He is the catalyst of consistency. And he's coming off the best season of his career, ladies and gentlemen. So I think this was again, what I said last night, if you tuned into the show, shout out to everybody out there listening, man. This is the Nature Sports Podcast, man. We appreciate everybody who's been coming through and really supporting us on this free agency journey. If you listened to the show last night, you know that I said my main issue was the fact of I wanted them to get a top tier player. We just read off his stat line.
That's a
This
top.
is this is definitely that. This is definitely that. I can't complain now. The one complaint I
That's
had,
as top tier
they
as
have
you get.
stolen from me. I can't even complain right now. The one complaint I had, they took it from me out of my own grasp. So, I mean, it's really, and if they are listening, if anybody from the Redskins listening, we appreciate you listening. This is the show that you want to listen to because we actually watch the games and we dissect
And
every
we care.
single play.
We care.
And we care. Yes.
I
So
want
if
to
y'all,
add saying with the Bobby Wagner signing,
uh-huh.
he's not getting a lot of money.
No, not at
And
all.
that's all. Remember what I added to you about Derrick Henry not getting a lot of money in Baltimore? That means that you're trying to get a ring. Bobby Wagner's got a ring with the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, they definitely have an appearance to the
No, they won. They won the Super Bowl last year in
like,
2022. So yeah, this was the
yeah.
Chiefs. Before that, it was what? No, the Chiefs was 2022. So he didn't get a ring.
All right. So, but he was on the team after they won a ring.
Right. Right. Right.
He won one with Seattle though.
He won two. Yeah, he won one with Seattle. He won
And
one with Seattle. So he has a Super Bowl. Yes.
we've gone to 2 Super Bowls and been in the playoffs plenty of times. So not only is a Super Bowl winner, he has the experience. And like I said, he's got a 1-year contract, not for the amount of money that I think he should be worth. So I think that this signing, not only signing him is a crucial and great for us, but I also think that it's kind of a slap in the face to him that nobody else in the league that had a contender wanted to go out and get him.
I agree.
Well, I think because of age, you know how they do about age. Once you in your 30s, like early 30s, 20, like 32, 33, that's when they start to lean off of you and wanting to sign you. Don't get me wrong, 1-year deals I think is great for somebody that's in their mid 30s, because that can, if they don't want to be tied to them, they don't have to be tied to them. But in the event that they are still have, some thread on the tires, that they can definitely go out there and still produce.
Oh no, for sure. But that's what I said. It was kind of like a slap in the face to the rest of the league, though, because there are other teams that again for us, what does it say that we went out and we got an older linebacker for the Mike when we went out and got London Fletcher around a similar age and what he was able to do for our franchise when we got him.
Yeah, that's actually been a consistent thing, like Ro was saying in the beginning of the podcast, because like Ken Norton, you know what I mean? When you think about all of the older linebackers that's came here and been able to produce, man.
You mean Ken
it's
Harvey?
crazy.
Ken Harvey. Ken
Ken
Harvey.
Harvey. I said Ken Norton. Yeah, Ken Harvey.
Yeah, Ken Harvey, Wilbur Marshall. Just we've had older going all the way back to the 80s. Sam Huff. Sam Huff going all the way back to Sam Huff. He came from the Giants. If anybody didn't know that, he was the middle linebacker for the New York Giants in the greatest game that was ever played in New York Stadium and all of that stuff. He was on the cover of Time magazine, and he came here to play with us after he had already retired, and he came back to play with us. So this is a traditional thing here in Washington when it comes to linebackers who they feel is over the hill, but these linebackers actually come here and perform pretty well.
I do apologize too because I meant to send this to the group, but did you guys see the conversation between Dan Quinn and him calling Joe Gibbs when he got the job?
No, I didn't.
So Dan Quinn spoke to the Joe Gibbs about the job in Washington, and Joe Gibbs told him about how important it was to be a Washington Redskin coach and how it was the most important job in the NFL. Dan took this conversation, and I think he embodied listening to Joe Gibbs. I'm not going to jump forward and say that he may be the one, but I will say that what he did by even doing that, because I do not recall Ron Rivera having an open conversation with Joe Gibbs. I don't remember Jay Gruden doing this.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But you should call Joe Gibbs about the place that you're coaching. You didn't call Jay Gruden or you didn't call Ron Rivera and talk to them about it. You called who I talk to you all the time and ask you, and nobody else is talking about Joe Gibbs.
Right.
Dan Quinn or Joe Gibbs called Dan Quinn. So even if he didn't call the other guys, it's because he respects something about Dan Quinn that he called a former Cowboy coach, what I would say right now. But if him and Joe talks to each other, I no longer look at him as ex-Cowboy. He's a head coach, and we have to look at him like our head coach right now because that's what he is.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna look at him like an ex-cowboy until
I'm
until I'm
not.
a
I
little
can't.
comfortable.
Don't do too much talking to ex Cowboys, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Joe don't.
That's true.
We talking about after retirement. Joe
Yeah,
don't much video or film of him talking to other Cowboys, bro.
no, Joe. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what really Joe's dog is in the race, which is when when the team was purchased. Joe Gibbs, sorry, Josh Hurst went off and bought stock in Joe Gibbs Racing. He made an investment, so he owns portions of Joe Gibbs Racing. Josh Hurst does. In my opinion, that was to get him in the door to get the team. That's what I always said to Joe. He had to get in the door to get in good with Daniel Snyder. Josh Hurst did. So he went to Joe, said, look, I'm gonna give you a couple dollars. I buy part of your racing, this, that, and the other, and you just get me a meeting with Snyder, and we can do, and that's just my own opinion as to what happened. There's no solid evidence on that, but he does own part of Joe Gibbs Racing. Josh Hurst does. So they are in cahoots in some degree, So I think that might have been and I can't get mad at Josh Hurst. It was a good play. It was a good play. You know what I'm saying on what you want to do. He should have had a conversation with Joe Gibbs. I've always said that. How can you come here to coach this team and not have a conversation with the man who came here from somewhere where else and was wildly successful? I just think that an idiot not to, you'll be an idiot not to do that. You know what I mean? So I can't get mad that that's what was happening because that's the smart play. Um, and honestly, thus far, when it comes to Dan Quinn, he hasn't rubbed me the wrong way. The many of what I've seen out of him has actually been very impressive. To be honest, his interviews are impressive. The way he's been moving has been impressive. Now, as far as having your owner sitting in while you're interviewing players, I don't approve of that. But outside of that, and I don't know how you tell an owner he can't sit in. So I don't know if his hands might be tied there. He might not like it either. However,
I think it's what V said yesterday, though. It's more like this is the first time of the process. This is the first time in this sport that I'm doing this. So let me see how this process goes. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. Even if he got questions, even if he asking questions or whatever, so he could just understand what the process is. It is his team. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's more or less what Vito said. I don't think he'll do that for years to come or anything like that.
right, right. So I'm just
Um,
saying. Go ahead.
to back, not to go back in time, but Wagner's age doesn't really bother me. Wagner is in the age group of some really good guys that still balling heavy in the game. Levante David is also 33. Von Miller's 34. Ingram is 34. Davis is 34. You know what I'm saying? So he's in a good company. Khalil Mack is 32. So he's in the company of some guys out there in the age range of some guys that still balling. And he just turned 33, right?
Yeah.
I think he just turned 33 not too long ago, if I'm correct. I thought he was 32. But his age doesn't bother me. Like I said, the 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 guys that's in this class, they still playing at a high level, and they've been playing at a high level their whole career. And as we just read his stats, so I believe if not 10 years, probably about 9 or 8 years, the boy has had 130 tackles or more, straight consistent. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So a guy like that, I'm not really too scared of his age. I'm just anxious to see what he brings to the table because the last guy we had like that was London Fletcher, our Mike linebacker, and we got one now, so we know what that defense was like under London Fletcher's tutelage. So I can't wait to see what Bobby Wagner brings to the table.
Yeah, the Bobby Wagner Dan Quinn combination has produced the number one. Bobby Wagner was the linebacker for the Seahawks. They had the number one defense his first 4 years consecutively. They had the number one defense in the league. His first 4 years, every year of his first 4 years. Now, this is with you guys too. This is another thing I want to see what you guys thought about. So you got Bobby Wagner with Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Whew. That middle of the field is going to be something else to deal with. that middle of the field. Let me ask y'all on the defensive side, what do y'all think we missing? What's left?
If you don't bring Fuller back, a number one corner, maybe a number two.
Okay. What's left? What's left? What you got, Big Son, on that? What you got left?
On Wagner.
On the
No,
defensive side. On the
you
defensive.
said what else you need? What else you think we need on defense?
Oh, what else I think we need? To me, honestly, I think another linebacker would be good. I think another linebacker for backup purposes. You know what I'm saying? Because we got guys pretty much we already know who's going to be the starters. But for backup to give us some depth in the linebacker room, we got depth on the line. We picked up some depth in the secondary. I think honestly a linebacker and a cornerback because I don't know what St. Juice is going to look like during the year. He had a pretty bad last year. He took a turn for bad, so I would go for a corner and a linebacker in the draft.
What you got on that point? What do we have left?
I would. I still would like to sign Devin White. I think that makes Navarro, Bowman, Patrick Willis type of combination. My opinion for me. I agree with you on a cornerback. If we're not gonna bring Kendall Fuller back, we need to sign a corner. You know what I mean? And honestly, same thing. Safety. If we're not gonna bring Cameron Curl back, we need to sign a safety. It's still some holes there, I think, and I definitely need to sign a tackle if we're not going to draft one. You know, and
On the defensive side.
just on the defensive side.
Just on the defensive
Yeah,
side.
defensive side.
And we got a safety if we don't sign Curl back.
We do we got Chin, but I'm saying I would like to sign Curl and have Chin, Curl, and Forrest.
You
You
got
know what I'm saying?
you got Martin, Reeves, Forrest, Chin. If you don't sign Curl, Curl would
Yeah,
be fifth. You only can play two at a time, maybe three.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. With Chin, I think you can move Chin around a lot. So if we do get Curl back, we can have
Yeah,
Curl in
yeah,
one spot and then have
yeah.
Chin move. You know what I mean?
That's what I was talking about last night because Chin plays the nickel. Chin can play the nickel along with Quan
Right.
Martin. If now in that regard, you might not need to go and sign another corner because Chin can play the nickel. You know
No,
what I'm saying? If St. Jude start looking shaky out there.
you are going to need three cornerbacks for sure. When you have to play a safe the nickel corner, it's because your third corner is bad.
It's trash. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
If you we not
That's
in
that's basically what I'm saying, Vito.
a league where you gotta
St. Jude
play
ain't trustworthy.
no, again, I'm going to be open minded and say that season last year was thrown away intentionally. The coach and the offensive side wasn't on the same page. I personally didn't think before the argument or before the firing that Del Rio was was locked in this season. I really don't feel like he was locked in. He wasn't making adjustments at half times like we were used to seeing for the first 3 years that they were there. I didn't see that. I didn't see any growth in the defense, and I saw teams pick against what they kind of already knew what we were running, and especially without no pass rush, those guys had all of the time in the world. And mind you, once it was no pass rush, you use a few more weeks later, 4 more weeks later, you got Ron Rivera calling the defense.
Right.
Once Ron Rivera was calling the defense, I don't recall us getting blown out anymore.
Yeah, we got blown out. Yeah.
No, my fault. Excuse me. I didn't know. No,
The Dallas game. The
no, no.
Dallas game.
That's what I'm about to say. I didn't mean to say.
Yeah.
I meant to say I don't recall us giving up 200-yard receivers. We wasn't giving up 200-yard receivers. We still were getting beat. We wasn't giving up 200-yard receivers a game and shit like that. Our cornerbacks weren't playing as bad. We were still bad, but we weren't playing as bad. I don't know if because like I said that last night. If we gonna give Sam Howell somewhat a break because of what the enemy was doing, and I know what you said.
AV.
Yes.
AV, I really think we're going to draft the corner, though. That's why I didn't want to go too hard on the corners, because I do think we're going to draft at least one.
Yeah. No. First of all, we got 10 picks. We got players in almost every position except for left tackle and cornerback in the free agency. So we technically don't have to sign anything. If we re-signed everybody that was on the free agent list and brought everybody that we had back and added the pieces that we got right now, we technically don't need to draft anything outside of depth. But our draft with all of these signings gives us an advantage to be at least 2 steps ahead of almost everybody in our division because we have a balanced team. We're filled with veterans in the most important parts, and we can put rookies in those same places to be backups so that when these guys are gone, they're ready to step in and work. And that's with this coaching staff or not. That's why I like Dan Quinn, because it doesn't look like he's setting us up only for while he's here. It looks like he's setting us up to be good so that I can keep this job for a long period of time. But if I don't, they'll be in the right. And that's where I say Peters is making sure that we're in the right direction moving forward all the way around. Because this draft, we could really be the biggest steal of the entire offseason if we get this draft right. Because they're free picks, y'all. We literally don't need starters, but in maybe 2 or 3 spots. And we got 10 picks and we got 5 in the top 100. We can add 5 top 100 players that don't even have to come in and start right away.
Absolutely. Just to go over the draft order. So let's update everybody on the draft order. We have 1 first-round pick, which is the number 2 overall pick. Then we have the 35th pick in the draft, which is in the second round. We have 2 second rounders. We also have Chicago's second round for Montez Sweat. So we have 2 second rounders, the 35th and then the 40th. Then we have 2 third rounders. Big Son, you was wrong on that. When we do get the third rounder for Chase Young, we got the third round of 66, and then we got the 100th pick from San Francisco. So we got 2 third rounders, 2 second rounders, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. So that's basically what our draft is. We got the first, second, 2. We got the first 2 seconds, 2 thirds, then the 4th, 5th, 6th, and the 7th. What y'all got on the draft order so far?
Where's the 6th pick at?
The 6 is 180.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Which I don't think. I think we're gonna give some of those picks up and get other picks. Because I think we're gonna trade back. It's just everything in me is telling me that we're gonna trade back. And
Why
I
would
think
we
that would be
trade
the
back?
best
We don't need
option.
to.
I don't.
We really don't need to
The
trade back.
only pick that's going to get traded back, in my opinion, is the first. Any of those late Jones that get traded back will just be because the player that they want is falling and something like that. But I don't. Those
Exactly.
late those 5 and 6 round picks that get traded back don't really have any extra value as far as later on in the line. That's just
Exactly.
draft
That's
order.
what I mean. Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
with the team that we got right now, or with the roster that we're building right now, I don't think you need more than the draft picks that you got right now outside of something for the future. The only pick that's worth trading is the first 2. That first one and the very first second pick. But I don't know what you get for trading the second pick unless there's somebody on the board that shouldn't be there at that point. And I don't see how you skip over picking him if that's, you know what I'm saying, if that's the case for
If you pick the right second person, right, the right number 2 pick, then that could be a Super Bowl.
Yes. Well, so here's the thing, and this is just my opinion. Sam Howell would have to grow miles for me to see the Super Bowl, or Eckler and Robinson would have to have the season of their careers. And neither is impossible. Howell is more on the highly unlikely, but still possible. If you draft a rookie quarterback, it depends on the skill set that he is able to provide with a improved offensive line and help automatically. I think it would be completely unfair, like Rose said, and looking at the roster that we have today, I think it would be completely unfair to trade Howell away and put a rookie in that situation and expect to win right now. That Bobby Wagner signing says to me that you keep Sam Howell this year and you draft something else with that number 2. That's why I put in the pick that we was getting Joe Alt.
Yeah.
Joe Alt makes sense.
Or Marvin Harrison.
Makes sense too, because we haven't picked up any receivers other than Jamison Crowder.
And I said that Marvin Harrison Jr. and Joe Alt make all the sense for that number 2 pick. If the Bears go with Caleb Williams, if the Bears pick Marvin Harrison Jr., I am trading that number 2 pick because somebody else, the Patriots are gonna get Caleb Williams if they don't, if they can't get Drake May. Somebody else is gonna want that quarterback. And if you got Sam Howell and you are confident enough that you can do something in your very first year with Sam Howell, I would skip that because guess what? All of these guys are going to be available for a draft pick next year because majority of them are not going to start.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you trade back if you can get Joe Alt. I mean,
No,
I would love, I mean, Joe Alt is somebody that you don't kind of skip over either. But I mean, for Marvin Harrison, I think it's either or. I'm not mad with either one of those picks.
no,
So like,
can go back one or think about this. If the Bears, so listen, if the Bears draft and don't trade their pick, if the Bears draft and they say we can trade the 8th pick because we still have value in trading a pick if we want to for us, and they pick the pick, that means that we essentially have the same draft capital that they would have if they would have traded the pick.
yeah.
If you think about everything that they was going to ask us to give up, I would give up getting Joe Alt to pick the second best tackle if I'm going to promise my team the draft pick next year in the first round, along with my own, a draft pick again in the second round this year or the third round this year to get the second best tackle because I already have, at least on paper, an established line far better than the one I had last year. Again, I'm with you in saying that Joe Alt may solidify this for the next 5 years, but it depends on how good he is. And I'm not saying, and I don't know if the second best tackle is miles away ahead of behind him, like some other positions.
No, I agree with that. I think that, but I can say this with Joe Alt, if he pans out, you're looking at somebody to replace Trent that we haven't had
Yes, no,
in a
I
long
totally agree.
time.
I totally agree with you.
You know what I mean?
We're folding on Trent when Rivera got here. If Dan Quinn picks the left tackle with that pick, that will also be saying my bad job for him making a mistake. Let's do this the right
Exactly.
way.
Exactly. So if he pans out, right? So that's if he pans out. Now, if he doesn't, then nobody's really gonna be too mad about it unless, and this is the biggest unless like somebody like Caleb Williams go crazy, Marvin Harrison go crazy, and we pick Joe Alt and Joe Alt is a bust. You know?
Let me ask y'all, what if the Giants wants to move up to you get that pick? Do y'all trade
No,
it?
Yes,
no, no, no.
yes, I do.
Absolutely not. I'm not trading it to anybody in my division.
Listen to me. Okay, so the same way that we said that we wouldn't trade for Cowboys back in the day, the reason why you would make that trade with the Giants is because even though they're just as bad as you are trading them a one player to take away the future players for them. Is the same. It's essentially the same thing as getting Biades or getting Armstrong from the Cowboys, expecting to cripple them some so that you can add or bolster your roster. The Giants aren't going to pick Joe Alt with that pick. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't mind trading it to anybody who's not picking what you want.
No, I get that, but my thing is that I don't want them to go get somebody like Neighbors, right? They say, you know what? You think we want all? We really want
It wouldn't
Neighbors,
bother me because they still have Daniel Jones at quarterback, and they don't
or
have Saquon Barkley.
or maybe they don't get Saquon Barkley. Maybe they do get Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams actually comes in the league and tears it up, and now we got to deal with Caleb Williams twice a year.
I'm fine
Like,
with that because the rest of the league is going to be gunning for Caleb Williams. I promise you, we're not going to be the only ones going after that, bro. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like, if they draft Drake May, if we don't want Drake May, I don't care where he goes. If we're not going to pick him and we pick Joe Alt, that means that we don't care where any of these other guys go.
yeah.
You know
Nah,
what I'm saying? And I'm not arguing with your point. You have really, really good points, and you may be more right than I am on my assumption where they possibly could go. I'm just
yeah.
saying that as long as the team that is trying to move up, if they're not trying to get what you're trying to get, dealing the pick does nothing but improve your chances to get better further down the line.
No, I mean, I definitely get that point, and you know what I'm saying. I just personally would rather trade it. Like, I'm gonna have an option more than likely. So my option is the Giants or the Bills, right? Don't get me wrong, the Bills might win a Super Bowl off of this. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm-hmm.
Giants might get a lot better, but I gotta face the Giants twice. So my thing would be to trade out of the division. So It's the same
But
pick. I'm gonna get the same.
didn't the Giants trade with the Redskins, or they didn't trade with the Redskins, but they moved ahead of the Redskins to pick Daniel. No, they didn't pick Daniel Jones. They just skipped over Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
And, I mean, excuse me, skipped over Haskins and picked Daniel Jones. So
yeah,
they didn't trade with us, but they essentially baited us in to picking their pick
yeah,
because they skipped over them.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can agree
So
with that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, even if they want to move up, if they're essentially, that they have two tackles that are that are getting ready to be under contract, and they just got them guys like a couple of years ago. So and yes, they may have had a bad season last year, but that wasn't. They got rid of their center. Even if Nick Gates is bad with us, they got rid of their center. That's why I said that the Cowboys probably shouldn't have done that, especially with not going after one in free agency, because
Exactly.
losing your center is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Especially one that has had that many snaps. If you look at our line, we haven't even had that many plays. They had almost 400 more plays than us this year.
Yeah.
Well, almost 350, almost 350 more plays than us on offense this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like to see them. I think on one side, we got two good guards, because you just got the guy from Kansas City, and then you got Biades. I mean, then you got Cosme.
Cosme.
Yeah. So I think you're good. Let me ask y'all this.
Well,
Just going through. Go ahead.
real quick, I just wanted to ask y'all on my intel I gave y'all the other day with the Eagles signing Devontae Parker
Yeah.
to a multi-year deal.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you all
dangerous.
think that what I said the other day about someone from their team being released that may be a key player, or do you feel like that may be a refill for Julio Jones, even though Julio was like their fourth or maybe fifth guy?
Nah, I think that's an insurance policy. I
I
think
think.
that I think it's
Go
an
ahead.
insurance policy just in case. I think they're going to try to work it out, but in the event that it doesn't work out, then that's their insurance policy.
Because I feel like they mirror the same size, and to give him that much money, I mean, he's a veteran, so I can understand the money, but to go for that position, you know what I'm saying? And it just seemed it seemed more like the intel could be right. Again, we could be wrong, and like you said, they could find a way to work that out, and I'm sure that they are trying to, but that was interesting to me.
I think that Devontae Parker, and I'm gonna pull his numbers up just so that I can know better. But I believe Devontae Parker has had some really good seasons, despite
He
whatever.
ain't AJ though.
Yeah.
AJ Brown is there, right? He's still there. He's not going anywhere, right?
So you might not have looked at the message I sent. So there's a rumor going around that what I was telling you guys about last year with them guys not getting along, that whatever that was not resolved. And that was probably from the rumors, again, just rumors, but these are rumors from inside the league. These are not just Twitter, that someone did something like the Russell Wilson
Golden Tate.
Golden Tate situation.
Oh
So it's
It may
Golden
wow.
be
Tate
bigger than
situation
just
in Russ.
the flashing lights and you get media attention. Or because of that,
Oh.
someone may have done some other things that may be a little bit more difficult to come back from. These are just assumptions. So until something happens, I don't want to put that in the world, but that signing of Devontae Parker for that much money when Julio was a basically plug and play sign real quick, when you could have brought him back. Not saying that, well, I think Julio retired, but at the same time, it's not your main three guys are AJ Brown, Smith, and Zacchaeus
Yeah,
or
it's a
something like
kid.
that. Yeah, Zacchaeus. And
Yeah.
Zacchaeus played well last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to get Devontae Parker in that situation, just I don't know. That I don't know. That looks like it leans towards something may not be right or something's may need to be fixed.
That's interesting though. That is some really weird, interesting intel. I mean, Parker, honestly, his numbers not that good. He has 1,000-yard season in his whole career. So his numbers are not good. They're not good. Last year he had 33 catches, 394. The year before that, 31 catches, 539. The year before that, 40 catches, 515. The year before that, 63 catches, 793. The year before that was his biggest year. 72 catches, 1,200 yards. But other than that, he's had just mediocre years.
And I know he was in Miami for a good little while.
Yeah, he was in Miami all the way up until the last 2 years he played for the Patriots.
So, like I said, that it could be a veteran sign just to, like I said, some insurance, some depth. It could be depth. There's nothing wrong with having 4 wide receivers, and they do pass the ball a lot. Having another big target is nothing wrong with that. But here's where I question that slightly. This draft, as I stated last night, is the deepest wide receiver draft in a long time. Why are you going out and getting the Devontae Parker when there are several receivers that could play your fourth for less money?
No, he's not getting that much money. He signed a 1-year deal. Only thing, it was $5 million guaranteed, and he's only getting $1.2 million a year.
But you could have got a rookie for less than that and got more years out of
Yeah,
it.
I still
But
feel
that
like
don't mean that rookie gonna be consistent like Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker not
Devontae
kind of
Parker's inconsistent. We
thank you.
just seen that.
He's inconsistent.
Consistently bad.
He's
But what I'm
inconsistent.
saying is, like, as a rookie, you don't know what you're gonna get out of that rookie. At least he is proven in the NFL what he can do.
Leo, they had Zacchaeus at their third string receiver. He was once a rookie. He panned out pretty good. He wasn't on the board to be a first round receiver. I'm
No,
talking about there are 8 to 9 first round receivers. There are probably 12 that might go in the second round alone.
Well, the fact that they gave him $5 million guaranteed does say a lot on Vito's side. Maybe his regular base salary isn't that much, but
yeah.
$5 million, essentially $5 million, 4.69, 4.7 million, basically. That fully guaranteed, meaning they
But
don't get that back.
I know what this receiver does pick. Like, I know what he does. I'm gonna try to do this with him. And guess what? If it don't work out, we paid him $5 million for this year, but it's only a 1-year deal. It's not like he got a long term, did he?
No, 1 year.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like I'll pay him for this year. I'm gonna pay him what I think he's worth for this year.
But it's a waste of money if you got a rookie that can come in and do the job better than he can do, and you get more return out of the rookie.
But that might not be their focus in the draft, and you might not get a rookie that is as good as Devontae Parker if you're going in the second round.
Why not a Devontae Parker at this point in his career? The last 2 years, he haven't even accumulated 1,000 yards.
What I'm saying is that Devontae Parker is cool. I'm not saying it's a bad signing. I'm saying that it leans towards more what I was saying. I'm also saying that it's a bad signing when this is a deep draft and you wouldn't. I understand not putting that pressure on my number 1, number 2, maybe even number 3 receiver coming in when I can go get somebody with some experience. But here's where I got a problem with that, Leo. You had Julio Jones last year as your 4th receiver, maybe your 5th receiver. He didn't have a good season, bro. You can go look at those numbers. They weren't that good. You tell me that you could draft a wide receiver in the system that you have, and you can't get more yards out of a rookie who would only be learning what you taught him, not with Julio or with Devontae Parker, because he's coming from another offense. So he's got to get used to y'all offense and learn y'all offense, which should be a little bit easier for somebody in the NFL. But we've seen in the past that players have not always had the success with learning new offenses and stuff like that. So why wouldn't you want to get a rookie for a longer period of time for probably the same $5 million that you can get in the 3rd or 4th round? That's going to be a really good receiver, you know what I'm saying, possibly for you, and can give you the same numbers that Julio Jones got at your 4th receiver spot.
Yeah, but I don't think they feel like they got enough out of that 4th receiver spot. So I'm not sure what was up. I don't really think that, like, I think Julio joined them like in the 3rd or 4th week though. He didn't play the whole season with him.
No, he didn't. He did.
No. He didn't. But hold on real quick. You are correct that he did not play the whole season with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that even though he didn't play the whole season with him, it's Julio Jones. You think that Julio Jones wasn't better than Devontae Parker?
Yeah, I do. Based on these
No,
numbers.
I don't know. Julio ain't been the same Julio in the last couple years. You know, I'm roll tide all day, but like I ain't seen Julio be Julio the last couple years.
Before he played with the Eagles, where was he at?
I can find
Tennessee.
out.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee don't have a quarterback.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Ain't nobody tell his ass go to Tennessee.
Devontae Hopkins, Hopkins went down that jump, and Hopkins didn't have a great season because they don't have a quarterback.
Hopkins had a decent season.
He had a better year when Levis got in there and somebody that threw him the ball.
Yeah.
They were trying to figure that out when they had Julio.
Let me see what his numbers was. He didn't have a bad season. I remember him flashing. Yeah, he had 75 yards this year for 1,000 yards, 75 catches, 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He had some flashes.
Most of that came in the second half of the year when they had Will Levis at quarterback. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. While Julio was there, they were still trying to figure out their quarterback and was running the ball with Derrick Henry. They started passing the ball more and started running less. I think we was watching the game. One of those games I bet on when they had Derrick Henry in the goal line and passed the ball.
Right.
And lost the game.
Right.
Dumb coaching.
Yeah, so Julio was in a bad situation in Tennessee. Same way for Hopkins, even though Hopkins did make the best of it.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, Julio is older, too. It's not like Julio is a younger guy. You know, I just think that I'm not saying he's done. I think he still got some tread left on the tires, but I don't think he's going to be a top, let's say, 20 receiver, maybe. You know, I'm not going to like dog him and say like he just trash or nothing, because I don't think he's bad. I just think that, you know, you need like how Dez Bryant kind of fizzed out a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I agree. Yeah. I agree. But however, I do feel like you dealing with Julio, that he wasn't, how do I want to say this? If I was Julio, I would have went to San Francisco, because I feel like he had his best success in that Kyle Shanahan situation. So I just think sometimes you got to go with someone who knows how to call plays for you and put you in the best position too. And I'm not sure that any of the teams that he was with able to do that.
And that's why I said that I wouldn't have signed Devontae Parker. I rather would have had a rookie, because this rookie is excited to play for my organization. Yeah, this rookie is going out to work and prove.
I'm not disagreeing with you about getting a rookie. I'm just saying that I can see why they would get a Devontae Parker. You know,
because our quarterback and our number one not talking to each other. That's why we're going to do that.
And we need somebody that's a veteran, a professional type of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do think they're going to trade Brown, though. I think they're going to trade Brown during draft.
You think they trade Brown?
Yeah.
They're not going to trade Hurts.
They're not going to trade Hurts. Exactly. They ain't trade Hurts. They're going to trade Brown.
They got rid of TL before, so I ain't going to put it too far ahead of them.
Yeah, no, they're going to trade Brown because
I don't know.
You still got Devontae Smith.
Bro, you can't go a whole season not throwing that nigga the ball, bro.
Yeah.
Depending on how bad the situation is, though, because you're gonna have that's a PR nightmare,
bro. If he smashed his girl, bro, like there's no fixing that.
I mean, see, you know what they're trying to say. What actually, you done put it all in the air.
I'm gonna be real, bro. Like, I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna be real, bro. They're
gonna say live, exclusive from the Nature Network. Such and such smashing such and such girl. Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, look. Hey, I didn't confirm it. I said if. I said
let the truth set you free.
If he did it. I don't know.
If you did that, Holmes, you're a foul individual. I would just say that.
You foul. You are foul.
You're a foul individual. On the code. On my soul, on the code, you're a foul individual.
Jalen looks happy with his situation, happy with his family. I don't think that's what happened. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the side that it didn't happen. I'm speculating.
Man, I will put feet and hands on that man. I'm telling you right now. Don't disrespect me like that. I'm not going out like LeBron. You got me all messed up.
Yeah, I would say it didn't happen. I would say, you know, them guys had
you ain't gonna LeBron me. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna say they had a locker room situation where, you know what I'm saying, you know, that they just couldn't get along for the time being. But I'm not gonna say the man, you know what I'm saying, sport code him. I ain't gonna say
Nah, it's called a
Man,
golden tape.
look,
It's called a
it
golden
went
tape.
down like Elijah Wan and Terrell when he slapped him in the locker room, and security ran in there with the guns out, police.
Bruh.
Cause he threw a chair through a window. Yeah, I'm telling you,
What I'm
it's been
saying is,
serious. Man.
if
Gucci flip
Jalen
flops.
Hurts got Russell Wilson, you know
Gucci
what
flip.
I mean? Like, is that better? Is
Gucci
that
flip
better?
flops. Gucci flip flops. That's all I'm saying. Gucci flip flops.
y'all talking about Gucci flip flops. Y'all talking about
Is
golden
that,
Telling you,
is
Y'all
that better
terrible,
though? I'm
man.
saying,
Y'all terrible.
if he got Russell
out of
Wilson,
call, I say, hey, D-Von, get the table.
if he got
Oh my
Russell
goodness.
Wilson,
Yeah, it'll turn to WWE in the locker room.
bro, you
Yeah.
Straight up. It is what it is.
I can't be your friend after that.
How many touchdowns
You know
you
what
think
I'm
you're gonna get
saying?
in the season? How many touchdowns you think you're gonna get this season?
We can't be cool after that. You
How
know
many
what I
times? Let me shut up. I ain't even gonna go there. I was about to say so foul. I ain't even gonna go. I ain't even gonna go. I ain't even gonna take it
Live on
there.
the Nature Network, man. Live
I'm
on the
gonna,
Nature
I'm gonna,
Network, man.
I'm gonna keep my composure. I was about to say something wild. Say something
Yeah, nah,
wild.
he should have never.
Keep
If
my
he did
composure.
that though, he should have
What
never
y'all
did that
talking
shit.
about?
That's
If he
wild.
did, he didn't
You
do it,
don't
man.
do that
He
to your
didn't do it,
teammate.
man. He didn't do it.
You know what
You
I'm
He
know.
saying?
did
Like,
that.
You know.
He
but
But let
did
me
there's
that.
ask
no
y'all.
fixing it, and I see them trading him.
I'm gonna tell you though, it's a PR nightmare still. You cannot trade AJ Brown. Did you see how they looked without AJ Brown?
Yeah, yeah.
It ain't about that.
But bro, do you remember the games that he played
Yeah.
that he wasn't productive?
Wasn't many. It wasn't many. He had, I
You
mean,
gotta think about after this happened. It wasn't that AJ Brown was hurt. He
Nope.
sat out during the playoffs.
you think he sat out during the playoffs?
Did he play in the playoffs?
Yeah, he
He might
did.
have been hurt. He might have been hurt.
I think he played, but
I think he played.
did he score?
No,
I don't
no,
even
he
think
did
they
not
went
score.
to him in for him to try to score. I think he had like one attempt or one target or some shit like that, bro.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of targets.
Something
But
that
what?
wouldn't have happened whether he was double teamed or not. We've seen
Yeah,
they go to him. Is for them to not go to him is crazy.
It-
The
yeah.
playoffs.
It's obvious. It's obvious a lot of double teaming was going on
Answer this
and off the
question.
field.
As
But
you
yeah,
answer,
No,
I mean,
okay, Vito. The
as you
last game
answer
he
this question.
played
It's a
was
serious
against the
question.
Giants. The
Hold up,
last game he
bro.
played was
Hold up, bro. Let's answer this question. If you in the playoffs, right, and the nigga there, Russell Wilson's you, and he Golden Tate out there, are you throwing the ball to Golden Tate?
No,
No.
you were covered. You were covered on
no,
that game.
I'm throwing it. Y'all
I
got me
don't care if you
messed up. I'm
wide
throwing it
open.
in
I'm not
double
throwing the
coverage,
ball.
triple coverage,
My bad. I'm
and I'm putting it up
Now
in
you
the
gonna
air.
throw
Go
picks,
get
Vito?
that.
Now you gonna throw picks? Now you gonna throw picks?
Nah, no, I'm throwing his life away. He gonna go get that, and they're gonna crush him.
Let
So,
me
I'm
so,
throwing
the,
that
so,
thing
the
in
same
all
way,
traffic.
so Big Son, the same way that you can set him up, the same way he can set you up by not going for the pass and you throwing a pick.
let me say this, Vito.
True.
It might be some sort of whatever to what you're saying, because the last two games he has a total of 5 targets. He had 4 catches for 53 yards against the Cardinals. That was the second to last game of the season for him. No touchdowns. Then on the last, no. Sorry. This is a couple, yeah. And then on the last game of the season, he had 1 reception for 1 target. 1 target, 1 reception, 9 yards.
Yeah, because guess what? I'm not throwing this nigga the ball. I'm not.
Man,
And
I'd have
remember,
stomped that nigga out with my
hold on, y'all.
cleats.
Hold on,
Listen,
y'all.
let me
Telling you
tell
right
you.
now, I'd have stomped him out with my cleats.
Hold on,
I'm gonna
Big Son.
tell you the
Straight
truth.
up.
Listen,
They were playing
that
for
one
playoff
catch.
position. They were playing for. They was playing for division
That
winner too. I mean,
that
for
one.
conference winner too. If they would
That
have
one.
those 2 games, because I thought they lost the last 3 games to lose the season out, or lost 2 games. Or
They lost. They went 1-6 over the last 7 games.
Yeah.
yes, you know what I'm saying. And again, they weren't playing like that prior to that. They were undefeated for a good amount of time.
Exactly. Because this is what I'm saying. Once that man then violated his home, he then went
I
up
ain't gonna
that.
say that. Y'all wrong, Chuck.
He then went up that.
Y'all
Yeah, because he
wrong.
was. Let me
You
shut
trying to
up.
say you
Y'all
No,
trying to say
I
he
wrong.
ain't gonna
bird he
say it.
bird
I ain't gonna say it.
you trying to say he birded that jump? You trying to
I'm
say
just
Bird?
going by speculation. I'm not
That
going.
was
I'm
right.
not
It
going
was
by fact.
speculation.
I'm going by
It
fact.
was speculation.
You trying to say he
Y'all is
told that?
wrong.
Caw-caw! He caw-caw!
Y'all is wrong, man.
Hey,
Y'all is
I'm just
wrong,
saying.
man.
If that's what happened, I'm not saying that it did happen. I think if that's what happened, there's no sense in that situation. There's no
A little
outcome.
too many late nights. See what y'all gotta realize. You can't be opening up your home and being
No.
all friendly and being all drunk and having people around your family, son. I'm
Hey,
telling
you
you,
heard
Oh,
AB
better
try.
God.
watch yourself.
Hey,
I'm
you heard
telling you.
AB try to smash Giselle.
You downstairs all busted, sleep. You hear me?
So
And
hold
that
on. How
man
y'all
woke.
know? Hold up.
Hey,
How y'all know
That
Jalen
man
Hurts?
woke.
Hold up. How y'all know Jalen Hurts ain't the one who did the violating?
Hey,
Exactly.
whoever it is, hey, Jalen Hurts might be. He that nigga, he
Mike,
got 2 earrings in one.
but
You
this
gotta
the
watch a
thing.
nigga like that.
Hey,
Tell you.
nah. This the thing though.
You
If
got
it
them
was,
2 earrings in one, you gotta watch a nigga like that.
but if it was Jalen
But
Hurts,
both of them, no, don't both of them rock the one earring?
big sir.
Don't AJ Brown rock the one earring too?
If it was Jalen Hurts,
Man, you
right?
better watch them
I
niggas,
would
man.
throw him the ball. I ain't got no problem with throwing him the ball if it's Jalen Hurts. No offense to you. You better catch that motherfucker. That's your contract. But if if it's the reverse, if it's Brown and not Jalen Hurts, then I'm not throwing him the ball. You get what I'm saying? So there's no reason for him not throwing the ball if he smashed his jump. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna drop it, nigga? That's on you.
He not even getting targets.
Yeah, he not even getting
He
targets.
did.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Brown, I don't know
Look,
what Brown
go look.
said
What's
to
his?
him. Brown,
What's the
look.
bro?
yeah.
First 2 games of the season, how many targets he got? What's his catches?
Mhm.
First 2 games of the season, he had 10 targets. And in the second game, he had 6 targets. The first game, he had 79 yards, 10 targets, 79 yards, 7 catches. The second game, he had 6 targets for 29 yards, 4 catches.
But see, that's
So
what I'm saying.
every
That's what
game,
I'm
most
saying.
of the game, let me say this. He had against Kansas City, he only had 1 catch. Once 4 targets, 1 catch, 8 yards. That
He
was his
still had
worst
4
game of the
targets
season.
though. You got to think about that. He still looked his way.
Hold on, what week was that?
That was week 1. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was week 10.
Oh,
That's
see, that
they
was
lost.
after it already happened. That was
That's
after
they
it
lost.
already
Yeah,
happened.
that was over there. That was when they lost. They lost to the
Well,
Chiefs.
if it already happened, then he has
Yeah, that
games
was
after
around
that.
Thanksgiving.
If he
See,
had,
that's what I'm talking about. That's
that was
around
on, I'm
Thanksgiving,
gonna give you
wasn't
the
it?
date. I'm gonna give you the date.
Uh-huh.
Yep, it was around Thanksgiving, 11/20.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
okay, but look,
What I tell you?
hold
What I
up.
tell you?
After that,
Got niggas in your house, man. I'm telling
hold
you.
up, hold up. If that
Can't
happened, then
trust them.
after that, he had 13 targets the very next week for 114 yards. He had 13 targets the week after that for 94. He had 10 targets the week after that, and then kind of it started to fizzle out.
Yeah, because you ain't
It
Okay.
getting
came
out.
out. That's
You
what
ain't out. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fizzle came out because he kept
Yeah.
coming over that thing.
And
He kept coming over that thing.
honestly, the Chiefs got Andy Reid and they won the Super Bowl. So maybe Spagnuolo just
Yeah.
defensively planned against AJ Brown in that particular scenario.
Yeah.
Right, right,
So maybe it happened in week like 12 or 13 when the numbers started dying down. Or it could have happened. It could have happened and that's how you know it could have happened around the that 12 game or the 12 target game, or maybe the week after because nobody knew. So everything fine and dandy.
Exactly. That thing was good.
Somebody else let this cat
Hmm.
out the bag.
Yeah.
And
I don't.
No, I mean, she let it out the bag.
I told
I
you
mean,
before,
but
even if it's not this, and it may be what I said at first last year, because we have this on air when I was telling y'all about the media coverage that Hurts was getting about the success the Eagles was having, and they was not having the success before AJ Brown came. Not the Super Bowl team, because this is a whole different coaching staff, different quarterback, and everything like that. So we talking about prior to the Super Bowl, the AJ Brown added Eagles have been successful with AJ Brown on the field. The
Right,
game that we beat them, not last year, but the year before last, we put AJ Brown out the game and we kicked their butt. They were not able to do anything.
right.
And that was when they were undefeated or like one game loss or something like that. We beat the crap out.
nah, we gave them their first loss. You're right.
Okay, yeah. So
We gave them their first loss.
so this year we didn't put AJ Brown out,
Was
but
AJ Brown on the Super Bowl team?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't think he was on the Super Bowl team.
No, I think he was acquired after that. That's what I'm saying. He's not a Doug Peterson product. I think he's the Saronic.
No, that's what I'm saying. Was he on the team that went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
What hurts? I think he was.
No, AJ Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he
I
was
don't,
on
I don't
that
think
team.
AJ Brown played with Nick Foles.
No, I'm talking about the one with Hurts, the Super Bowl
Nah,
team
what hurts?
that went to against the Chiefs.
Yes. AJ
He
Brown.
was
Yeah,
there.
he was there.
He was there.
Yeah, he was there.
Okay. Okay.
He was a lot of places.
But that's what I said. That's the year of success that I was talking about. The following season, which is last year, the media coverage that Hurts got every Sunday that the Eagles is going on TV. AJ Brown got covered on Fox 5 one time last year, and the media coverage he got was not about how well he was playing and how many touchdowns he scored. What his coverage was that they covered AJ Brown on the day that they covered everybody wearing their different cleats. I think that's the first October or something like that. Or if it's not that, it's the week right before that on the little cleat week. They did a special on AJ Brown about his daughter having, because she's so young, him having to wear different cleats like that every week.
It's called Show Your Cause.
The Show Your Cause, John. Yes, but he wears cleats that's different colors and stuff like this almost every week because that's the way his daughter identifies with him when he's on the field.
Right.
That was what the coverage was for AJ Brown. The over 12 or 13, 1,400 yards the year before, the double-digit touchdowns, the big play a game almost every week from AJ Brown, the offense that almost didn't even have to play in the second half because they were smashing people the year before, to this year when I was saying that, hey, these guys are going to be able to score in the first half, but they're going to have to play in the second half. And they had to do so.
Nah, I seen them. Hold up. We missed one more. They did cover him when he had that streak of over 125 yards. They covered him that week too. It was like a 4 or 5 game streak.
But they didn't have him on the time on the Rolling Stone cover. They didn't have
it wasn't none of that.
They had Jalen Hurts on the front of ESPN as Batman, bro.
Yeah.
Big Batman is in America. They had Jalen Hurts, a black man, on the cover of fucking when T.O. was the quarterback, was the wide receiver for the Eagles. T.O. was everywhere. And Donovan McNabb was already a Pro Bowler prior to that. Donovan McNabb was already an NFC champion prior to T.O. coming. But when T.O. coming, T.O. at stuff. And AJ Brown, I believe, was considered probably the best wide receiver in the NFL, if not top 3, the last 2 years or the year before last, that season that he had with the Eagles. He was one of, if not the top, he was in the top 3 of receivers and yards, catches, and everything that year. You know what I'm saying? And what he did as far as the double-digit touchdowns, like he was a big deal that particular year. So and again, Hurts didn't have this success prior to him coming. You know what I'm saying? He did well with, I think he was there Peterson's last year, if I'm not mistaken. He did well, but he didn't have the same success that he had with AJ Brown. So, and I'm not, and it could be ego. That's all I was getting to, is that it could be ego and it could be jealousy that you, and again, understanding football, the quarterback always gets to shine when you have success. Look at Kirk Cousins. But Justin Jefferson has been on Madden. Justin Jefferson gets coverage. Justin Jefferson gets talked about on several different platforms. AJ Brown does too, but I think AJ Brown was getting a little bit of the second nod. You know what I'm saying? Like Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, as we were speaking about Kirk Cousins earlier. I'm not going to say Kirk Cousins is the best player on that team. Everybody know that Jet is the best player on that team. You know what I'm saying? Even people who cover the Vikings, even with Kirk Cousins being a decent quarterback to them in certain instances, they know that he's probably good because of the Jet.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, but again, Kurt has had really good receivers his career. He's had really good guys that know how to catch and that he's put in position sometimes, and then most of the time they save him, especially in Minnesota. Stephon and Jet and Thielen definitely saved him a lot. But
hold up, V. You said good. We talking about there's only maybe like Steve Young, maybe, that's had better receivers in the NFL history.
No, what I'm saying is that Kirk Cousins had legit receivers almost every year that he started. Not every quarterback has that.
Right. No, that's true.
No. Exactly.
And that's so I'm not flip-flopping. I still feel like he's a very good quarterback, not a great quarterback, but I will put an asterisk to state that the best quarterbacks, and that's where I won't put him at best, but the best quarterbacks can operate with they can do what Jared Goff to make Amon St. Brown.
They can make a receiver.
They can make a receiver a household name. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Vikings getting Jordan Addison, somehow or another, they find somebody for Kurt to be able to target. You know what I'm saying? They find people when like I said, there's a couple of years where they don't have they got injuries, they don't have the best guys, and Kurt does not perform well without a list of people. The same way I feel about Kyle Shanahan, maybe not coaching when he has the best on the table. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make them bad coaches. And guess what? It is my GM's job to make sure I got talent. So if my GM is make sure I got talent,
that means you did your job.
Thank you. I'm not gonna let me and what I'm saying in my take be a blame to my coaching. I'll just use that what I am saying, that when you were with a team that wasn't as good, you don't perform like a Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin can take anybody. He take a high school team. I rock with Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tomlin, one of my favorite coaches in the league, man, because he literally has taken Kenny Pickett and Rudolph and all these other people and at least been 500 with these. I can call them bums. I'm gonna say with these quarterbacks and these players that are not up to par with people in his division. Because you look at Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, and Lamar Jackson is the other quarterback in that division. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like realistically, and before Deshaun Watson, you had Baker Mayfield. You had, you know what I mean? In Cleveland, Cleveland has put together a couple good, decent quarterbacks over the last couple of years. You know?
Yes, they've gotten rid of that bug of not being able to have it. They got rid of that.
Yeah,
I think they recovered from having to draft a quarterback every year.
Yeah.
So when you look at that and you say that's what that team has versus, like, to me, my knock on Kurt has not is to me is that you've had everything, in my opinion, and you still don't consistently beat teams that technically you're supposed to be on the same level with. If you're a top paid quarterback, you're supposed to perform at a top paid quarterback level, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with you with that, but the thing is that here's what we want to say. Well, at least what I'm gonna say. Kirk Cousins is an individual that you gotta understand how to coach him. All right.
Yeah.
I'm saying that when what was that guy? Put it like this. You have to know the same thing that we know. Like, for some reason, when we watch games, it seems like coaches don't have any idea of the things that we know. Like, if you got Kirk Cousins at a quarterback in the fourth quarter and you leave the game, why are you throwing the ball?
I agree.
But somehow or another, coaches seem to keep giving him the ball to throw the ball.
Well, I'll say this. Look, like I said earlier, when we was off air, and it's not that I hate Kurt. That's why I went and looked up some.
I hate him.
Listen though, V. I'm not a hater, so I wanted to go see what I can say in his defense. You get what I'm saying? When I judge players, I'm going to judge them on what they're good at, and I'm going to judge them on what they're bad at. So I got to give them his props. 28 game-winning drives is a lot of game-winning drives, even for a 12-year veteran. That means that on average, you're having 2.5, maybe 2 to almost 3 game-winning drives a year.
Against the Panthers of this year. But go ahead.
Regardless of who he's doing it to, I think that's a good stat. It's a good stat. I can't look at his other stats, like his win-loss percentage, and not say and say that's a bad stat, and not look at his good stats and say that's a good stat.
They ain't had a jet this year, bro.
I agree. I'm just I fun with Kirk Cousins a little bit, but I don't like him. I mean, only because again, I'm not gonna sit here and lie like, oh yeah, I ain't no hater. Yeah, I'm a hater. I'm a Kirk Cousins hater. Yeah,
I ain't a hater.
I'm a Kirk Cousins hater. I mean, hey, look, that last game against the Giants, the last game he played in the Redskins jersey, I encourage anybody to go look at that game, and that is why Kirk Cousins will forever be in the doghouse with me. Personally, you know what I'm saying? We don't have many opportunities to go to back-to-back playoffs, and that was one of the opportunities we did, and we should have went Kirk Cousins totally sold the farm. And then after the game, he acted like he was the SHYT.
Yeah,
Yes, he did. Oh, I'm big and bad. I want 30 million a year.
but
That's
this the
why
thing.
they shipped him out and got Alex Smith in here.
But this the thing with Kurt, right? This the thing with Kurt, especially even in that time, right? For him, he feels like he has a lot of leverage, right? And it's all built in stats. It's all built in yards and relatively passer rating, okay? Because
And I
like I
don't
said,
like the fact that he pushed the old ref that during the Pro Bowl in the flag game, he pushed the 89-year-old ref. And look,
why was he
man,
on the field if he was 89?
and it was a charity game. It was a charity game, and it was a flag football game.
He
And
90
he pushed
years old, bro.
he pushed the 80-year-old ref, man.
Why was he on the
Come
field,
on, Kurt. Come on, Kurt. What you pushing the 80-year-old ref for, man? You should
man?
have put your hands
Hey,
on that
yo.
man. You should have you should have put your hands on that man. You know he can't defend himself. Come on, Kurt.
Hey, no, I'm not against old people at all, but like 89 is a very old age to be reffing a game.
That's what Kurt do. He beat up on people who can't defend themselves, like bad teams. Like bad teams. He beat up
Yeah,
on people who
man,
can't
nah, that's
defend
wild.
themselves.
That's wild. Why would he push that old man though? That's wild.
Yeah, Kurt screamed in his face and then pushed him. Come on, man. What you doing, man?
So you mean to tell me Kirk Cousins is a senior
He a
citizen?
bully. He a bully. He a bully. He a bully. Look at him bullying the Falcons. He knew they couldn't defend themselves. He
Keep
knew
him
they
out
was
of your
desperate.
senior homes, Kirk Cousins.
He knew they was desperate. They needed it. He said, "Yeah, I need 180 million." You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, dog, you can't 180 million or
I
nothing.
would have slapped the shit out of Kirk Cousins Lima looking ass. You put your motherfucking hands on my grandfather. I
Yeah,
would have slapped the shit out your punk
that
ass.
was your grandfather though. It wasn't your father because he's 89 years old, bruh.
Yeah, man. Look, Kurt ain't had no
I
business.
said my grandfather.
Y'all go look up the highlight. The highlight is on YouTube for all the fans listening out there. This is the Nature Network. The highlight is on YouTube.
You know what? I probably wouldn't have slapped him. I probably would have speared him like
You gonna push him
Goldberg, his ass
like
up.
Goldberg.
in a flag football game. You
He
pushing the
just
ref.
came out of nowhere and speared his bitch ass.
You
Like, you
know?
gonna put your hands on my grandfather, son?
Yeah, I mean, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Come
Y'all
on,
still
bruh.
ain't
Nah.
asked my question. Why that 100-year-old man was out there reffing the game, man? Why
Because
would
they ain't had nobody else they could ref it. They ain't know the NFL. He probably did a better job than these refs nowadays. He probably did a better job than them.
at
At least,
No
89,
question.
bruh?
at least he ain't take no money to cheat and
Well, he
to
wasn't
sway
90
the
years old.
line and to sway and to
My
move the
bad.
line. At least he ain't take no money to move the line
Bruh,
so that
take no
Vegas could
money,
win
bro. What does
money.
he need? He is 100 years old, bro. What does he need money for?
Exactly.
What do
Exactly.
you mean? Hold up.
No, he ain't gonna cheat.
So this man can't live his life because he 89?
He ain't cheating. He ain't
He
cheating.
can't live.
So
Why Pops can't live,
let me
man?
ask y'all this. So let's go over with some of the other teams in the NFC
He is
East.
living. He reffing the game. That's living
Let's
like shit.
let's go over what some of the teams in the NFC East have done so far. The other teams in the NFC East. We know what we've done. Again, we went over what Washington has done so far, but let's catch up on what the other teams in the NFC East has done. I mean, NFC East has done, and then even
I can
around
tell
the
you the
league.
Cowboys have done nothing.
I mean, no, they have. They actually have. So
What did they
let's
do?
go. We about to go through the whole list right now. We'll start with Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys have signed Trent Sieg. He's a line specialist. They signed him for $1 million. He's 28 years
He's a
old.
long snapper.
Yeah, long snapper, basically. And so they also signed Eric Kendricks, which, I mean, he's decent from the Chargers. He's 32 years old. Dallas signed him for 1 year, and that is all they've done thus far. The New York Giants have signed Xavier McKinley.
That's a
He,
good pickup.
he's a safety. He's 24 years old from Green Bay. He got
Yeah, that's a good pickup.
$67 million.
Yeah, that's a good pickup.
He hit the bag with them. And we'll go down to the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's see what they got going on.
I think they have the second best free agency this year, if not the first.
Okay. So Philadelphia has signed Bryce Huff. He got 51 million out of Philly. Saquon Barkley got 37 million out of 50 out of Philly. Devontae Parker, he got 4 million out of Philly. They got Chauncey Gardner Johnson. Oh, is he going back to Philly? No, yes,
Yeah,
he
he went back to
is.
Philly.
He
Yeah,
went
he went
back to
back.
Philly.
Yeah, he
Gardner
went back.
Johnson going back to Philly. That's big. That's big. Didn't know that. Matt Hennessy, center, also going to Philly from Atlanta. Brandon Mann, also going to Philly from Philly. They re-signed him, and they re-signed Rick Lovato. He's staying. He's the line specialist over there. They got Zach Bond from the New Orleans Saints for 1 year. And that's the totality of what they've done so far. So Philly has been really active. Philly has been really active. Gardner Johnson is huge going back to Philly. He's huge going back to Philly. CJ Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, no, Gardner Johnson. That's why I say I think that they especially in our division, they're definitely number 2 in our division. I feel like the Giants will be number 3, and then the Cowboys will be dead last because their free agency has been rather dull. I mean,
Yeah, they haven't done anything.
I think Eric Kendricks is a pretty good pickup for what it's worth. You know?
I believe they got a little bit of dead money though there left in Dallas. Because I mean, I know that they probably had to pay Zeke out for whatever he had left on his contract. It looks like some dead money. So I would suspect that Dallas got a little bit of dead money over there. With Cooper, maybe with Mari Cooper, they might got something lingering. So I would suspect that they just got a little bit of dead money that they're gonna have to clean out before they're able to make any moves. Now let's go around the
Yeah.
league. Let's go around the league. I'll try to start with
Hey,
the
no,
most.
I'm gonna say Baltimore as my. I'm gonna say top 3, and if anybody else want to chime in with me, top 3 winners of the free agency. For me, number 1 has been us. You know what I mean? And maybe that's me being biased, but I really like the Bobby Wagner signing. I really like the Louvu signing. I really like the Austin Eckler signing. You know what I'm saying? I like several signings that
I
we've
don't
had.
know. Jacksonville, man.
Um,
Jacksonville right now.
hold up. My number 2 would be Philly because what Philly did was not only take their division foes player, got him for a low price, brought him back home because he was in Penn State, and then you got Bryce Huff, which is just a beast, a monster. You know what I mean? And then you went back and got Gardner Johnson and not let him walk because that's a mistake. That would have been a mistake in my opinion. That would have changed Philly whole defense. And then number 3 would be Baltimore. That
Yeah.
Derrick Henry signing is big. It's huge. It's phenomenal, in my opinion. They signed a couple other people too, but that's the big one.
Sorry, let me go back over the Giants. Sorry. I missed on the Giants. McKinney end up going to Green Bay. I misread that. He ended up going to Green Bay. Let me go back over the Giants. Sorry. The Giants signed John Runyon. They got John Runyon at guard for 30 million. They got Devin Singletary at running back from Houston for 16 million.
That's a good
They got
signing.
Jermaine Alamer he's a right tackle from the Las Vegas Raiders for 14 million. They got Drew Lock at quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks. They got Gunnar Olawaski from a wide receiver. They re-signed him. Jalen Mills from the New England Patriots. Cornerback, they got Isaiah McKenzie from the Indianapolis Colts, a wide receiver. And that is the totality of what they got. So the Giants have been active as well. Giants have been really active as well.
Yeah, but they ain't made the splash. Like when you lose Saquon Barkley, Devin Singletary is a good pickup, but you lost Saquon Barkley.
I agree with that. You did lose Saquon Barkley. They replaced him with Singletary, though. Singletary's a good back.
He's
Singletary's
not.
a good back.
He's not. He's not Barkley though.
I don't know. He's had more success than Barkley as far as wins and losses.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not
but
saying he's Barkley as far as talent or potential, But I am saying that he's been on really good teams
Yeah,
every year in his career, even this year with Houston. They went into the playoffs. So he swapped teams and they still went to the playoffs.
yeah, no, I agree with he's been on good teams. Hold
You know. So I think that Devin Singletary is a really big, I'm not gonna say he's an upgrade, but I'm not gonna say he's a downgrade either. I'm not gonna say he's a downgrade. Houston has been really active. So let's go over some of the teams that's been really active in the NFL. You got Daniil Hunter who went to Houston. Um Aziz Al Shahar also went to Houston for 34 million. Daniil Hunter ended up getting 49 million. Danico Autry left Tennessee, also went to Houston. He got 20 million. Tommy Townsend, the punter, left Kansas City to go to Houston. Jeff Okada, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name crazy. Okada, he left um Atlanta and went to Houston. He's 25 years old. Michael Ford, the cornerback, went to Houston from Cleveland. Noah Brown, the wide receiver, they re-signed him. Deshaun Phillips, the linebacker from Baltimore, left Baltimore go to Houston. Lonnie Johnson left New Orleans to go to Houston, and Fuli Fotsquit left Jacksonville to travel to Houston as well. So Houston has been really, really active in this here NFL free agency.
Well, Houston is one of those hot spot teams now because of CJ Stroud.
Yeah, they're definitely a high spot team. They're definitely, and I don't know if it's just about CJ Stroud. I think their coach, D'Amico Ryans, have added quite a bit to that team and really boosted them up. You know what I mean? To be real contenders. And whenever you got a good coach, that is going to draw a lot of players as well.
Well,
But let's
yeah,
go. Let's
but
go
you
with
got to think about
Baltimore
it this.
since you
You got to
mentioned
think about it
Baltimore.
think about it like this.
Uh huh.
When Cam Newton came into the league, right?
Right.
People didn't want to necessarily go play with Cam because everybody said Cam can't throw the ball, right?
Right.
But when you had Peyton Manning come into the league, right? People wanted to go play with Peyton because he could throw the ball.
Right.
And I feel like
Right.
with CJ Stroud, because he's such a good passer, all they had there was Tank Dell. You know what I mean? Let's be real. And Schultz was okay this year. Tank Dell was okay. There's a couple players that kind of stepped up, but like names, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
So now you got the name, and CJ is your guy.
I
So don't get me wrong, D'Amico Ryan's gonna bring other people in because he's a good coach, but CJ Stroud gonna bring the people in.
Yeah. Yeah. But I still think a good coach helps. I think a good coach helps nobody, and being a contender, also having success helps the morale of the team. The players who
Yeah.
might be thinking about leaving will think twice. In my opinion, maybe they don't think twice. For any players out there you want to chime in, feel free. Maybe they don't think twice, but I know for me, I would want to play for a winner. That's what you play for, is to win. Winning brings other things such as endorsements and all types of stuff. Look at the Chicago Bulls. If you look at it, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Will Purdue, Bill Wennington, all the guys, the guys that BJ Armstrong, Horace Grant. I mean, we know all these guys because they won. And when you're in the playoffs, you get a bigger audience, get to view you. It's just better for your career when you're on a winner rather than you having been a ecstatic player on a losing team. That's a little bit of a knock on you. So I think that, just you want to play for a winner. You really want to play for a winner. It's much better when you're playing for a winner than a loser, you know.
Yeah, I mean, of course, with winning comes a certain level of branding.
Yeah.
You brand your team a lot bigger, a lot better when you win. And I agree with that 1,000,000%, right? But you get into that space of why are people coming to this team? People wanted to come play with Jordan. Of course, Phil Jackson was a great coach. You know what I mean? But people were coming to Chicago to play with Jordan. You know, Pippen
Absolutely.
was is an all time great Hall of Famer, first ballot.
You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest defenders, in my opinion, of all time. Rodman, one of those people that says, okay, I'm on Detroit, and I think he went to San Antonio before he ended up in Chicago as well. But I'm in San Antonio. I'm down here fucking with Madonna and chilling and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I want to go win. If I want to go win, I want to go play with this guy because he's the guy.
Right. Right.
And so, like with Brady, Randy Moss. Think about Randy Moss going to go play with the Patriots. Yeah, I would go play with Brady. Why not go play with Brady? Brady, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you see what they bring in that excitement. Deshaun Jackson came to Washington for RG3, didn't come for Kirk Cousins. That's why he didn't stay.
Right. Okay, well, let me ask you. So let's go into Baltimore. Baltimore actually only signed 3 players. They signed Henry, they signed Brett Urban, which is a re-sign. They just had Henry and 2 re-signs, Brett Urban and Malik Harrison.
Yes.
They re-signed their defensive tackle too.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that's not. They don't have that on my board yet. Yeah, that might be Malik Harrison. No, yeah, that might be. No, that's not Malik Harrison. He's no. Brett Urban is a defensive end, so that might be who you're talking about. Malik Harrison is a linebacker.
The thing is that the reason I say with Baltimore, because when you look at a team like Baltimore, don't get me wrong, they lost Patrick Queen. So I am not sure that they're going to be that same team.
Right,
But
right.
let's say where they were last year, what do you need? You need another playmaker. You need a guy that's going to be able to take some of the load off of Lamar. And what better guy to do that than a Derrick Henry that can take the load by himself for a team? He was Tennessee for the last 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, no, I agree with that part. I think that's a
So,
good marriage. I think that's a
so,
perfect marriage. And
so
what both
you,
of them want to do.
exactly. So
And he's
think
not going to
about
get hurt
no, but think
like
about when
they
Mark
have had over the
think
last couple
about
of
when
years.
Mark Ingram was with the Ravens.
Justin Matabuke is who was re-signed for the tackle at defensive tackle for the Ravens.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So let's go over Jacksonville, who I think has had a really, 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 really good offseason thus far. I think I will put them second. If I'm gonna put Washington first, I think I'll put Jacksonville second because right now they got Gabriel Davis from Buffalo. Gave him 39 million. They got Darnell Savage from Green Bay, gave him 21 million. They got Mitchell Morse, also from Buffalo, their center, who I wanted here for Washington, and he only got 10 million. So that's somebody that I wanted Washington to look at. But they ended up going the route of the guy from the Cowboys, which I guess it's not a downgrade either.
Nah, that's an equal trade off.
Yeah. So then they got Ronald Darby from Baltimore. They got him for 2 years for 8 million. They got
Man,
Devin Duvernay.
Darby, bruh.
He played. Okay. He did not work out with us, but
Yeah,
he has played 2 good seasons after leaving us.
yeah, yeah. And then
We
they got
say
Devin Duvernay also. Duvernay has been massive for Baltimore.
My thing is that like I don't like exposed players. You know what I mean?
But
Like I
Tom
like
Brady exposed them. It wasn't
he
like,
got he got
you know,
exposed, man. He
Tom
got
Brady did in the
exposed like
playoff game.
shit.
I'm no doubt in the playoff game, Tom Brady definitely exposed them, but it's
Exposed.
Tom Brady.
Now
and
I
you got
get it.
oh
I get it.
that's the
But
scheme he was running, bro. You got
no, I get it. But no, what I'm saying is that exposed players. Like right now, I'm scared for Forbes. Forbes got a little exposed last year. He had
He
good
did.
play. He got good time, but he was a rookie. So exposing a rookie that don't know nothing, but exposing a veteran. When you expose a veteran, you expose their bad tendencies for other teams to
was
see
Darby
on
a
to see
veteran? Or was he like 4 years a veteran to you?
who Ronald Darby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a veteran, I think.
He's a
I think
veteran
4 years
now.
is a vet.
No, now he's a veteran. I'm talking about when we
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Tom Brady, though. I mean,
When we
it's
had him, he
Tom
was a
Brady. Tom
veteran.
Brady has exposed many of people. Did
No,
you
but he
not
was a
remember the
he was a veteran when we had him. He was already like in his fifth or sixth year when we had him. That's a vet.
I don't know if he was in the league that long. He had only played with the Eagles.
he's 30 years old right now.
Okay, so that
So
means he been in the league what 24, 6 years around that.
yeah,
So
he's 30 years old
maybe he
now.
was a little younger than that.
I like what Jacksonville has done. I like what they've done. I really like what they've done in the off season.
I was like, just me personally, I'm not a Derby fan, and it's just because I look at veterans at this point where it's a tendency exposing. It's not
And
like a young person exposing. If
and
you
some
get exposed on a
Trash
tendency, then that's a
tall-
problem,
He's trash
right.
against tall receivers.
huh?
He's trash against tall receivers.
See, I mean, and that's an exposing thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that on my team.
But it's not that many receivers that it's not that many cornerbacks that play the jump ball well. That's a specific skill for some cornerbacks.
That's true. That's true.
And
I
I
agree
think
with
we
that.
are overlooking what Miami did too, though. Miami seems to be very active, just to run through Miami right now. And they were really good last year. Whether we like it to want to admit it or not, over the first eight weeks of the season, Miami was the best team in football with what they was doing,
But it's not
over there.
about, in my opinion, with that is nice to say, right?
That was the high.
Remember that year Pittsburgh went 11-0, lost to us, and didn't do nothing in the playoffs.
Well, to Miami's credit, I'm going to talk about what Vito said. They have to get the number one seed. This is what Vito said in the playoffs when we did the playoff game. They have to get the number one seed in order to really make noise in the playoffs, because their climate is just, the weather's so good that when it's going to be hard for them to make an adjustment to have to go to. Let's think about the teams that you're going to have to go to in the AFC. You're going to have to go to Baltimore. You're going to have to go to Kansas City. You're going to have to go to Pittsburgh. You're going to have to go Buffalo. So, I mean,
look, bro. That shit is an excuse, man. These are professional.
No, it's been that way. Why you think Dan Marino don't have any Super Bowls?
In Kansas City, bro. Them fans ain't never experienced that.
I get that. And while I'm saying this, I'm not saying that it isn't a difficult place to play. Okay.
Do you know why Buffalo went to the Super Bowl four straight times and Dan Marino couldn't get there once?
Arrowhead is a hard place to play if it's perfect weather outside. Okay.
So I'm about to say, but my difficulty is to play there. The goddamn on climate.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Climate, fuck the climate.
Them fins was froze out there.
Listen, I get it, but it's worse when this crowd loud as shit too. Okay, excuse my language. The crowd's super loud, so it's hard to play regardless if it's 80 degrees or if it's -2. My thing is that when you are professional players, right, and you go into a season. Now, your first season and second season, then is different. Now you in your fifth season, right? And you know you got to beat Mahomes to get to this spot. You know what I'm saying?
But when you
got to beat Mahomes. If you Tua, you know you got to beat Mahomes.
But that's why I think they've been so active. I believe they realized too that they
had a really good home record. And that's what the problem was, that they didn't win enough away games
exactly
for them to be able to get it. But that's everybody else got to play. If somebody else is 15-1, but you don't on your schedule, you don't have nothing to do with their schedule. You don't got nothing to do with. You can't stop them from being able to keep you from. You'd have to go undefeated to get the home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? You play that team, they're different. But if you don't got them on your schedule, you're playing against their record. You know what I'm saying? First of all, winning 15 games in a season is very difficult. I don't care how many teams in NFL history did it. 15 wins is hard.
14 is hard.
12 is hard.
Yeah.
12 is hard. Only the best and most consistent coaches can get you 12 2 years in a row, maybe 3-4 years in a row. Like it's not that only certain that can run that off every single year because they got the staff and certain things in place. The way that the NFL, even Belichick and them might be one of the, like Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy's in the
only the elites.
With Belichick, they may be the last set of teams to do that because of how crazy free agency gets now for coaches and players, that you may not keep a team together that long to be run off 9 years in a row going 7-0 like the Colts. You know what I'm saying? Like Tony Dungy went 7-0 to start his career off with Peyton Manning after his first year for like 9 years, bro.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Don't play in the free agency
all
like
that. This is something that you know you got to do. Tua, you ain't no longer a young player, a rookie guy, none of that. You a vet now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you got to do. Josh Allen, you know what you got to do. Lamar Jackson, you know what you
Josh
got to do.
had home field advantage. We talking about the
Huh?
Dolphins. I said Josh and Lamar had home field advantage. So we talking about the
No,
Dolphins.
no.
I,
I get what you're saying. But that's what I'm saying to that point of it is you know what you got to do when you walked into the season. After Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl last year, after Lamar Jackson had a good year, after Josh Allen had a good year, right?
Mm-hmm.
All last year, right? You knew that these the guys you gotta face. You know it's gonna be cold up there in this time of year. You know, if you don't know, then you should be paying a little bit more attention.
I
You
don't
know
think
what I'm saying?
13
If
degrees.
you don't know this, so you need to be training for that at some point in time if you want to be the greatest.
I think
So your whole what you're saying is that in the off season, the entire team that doesn't get to spend any time with their family for a large part of the entire football year, that they should spend the off season somewhere cold.
No, not
So
saying
where
that.
do they train? They train in fucking heat in Miami.
Not
They
saying
train
that because
in Miami, so
because
where are they gonna
listen, you got to
go?
think about that's like a Miami curse though. We down here, we in good weather. We ain't got to go to the other weather, and then you get to that other weather, you got to play in that shit, and now you don't know how to handle it. You
Bruh,
still gotta
it's
put
only
yourself in the best position to win. Is all I'm saying.
it's only essentially really cold in the playoff months in football. November can get cold, December can get cold, but you have home games as away games. So Miami is always going to have the situation where they play at home. They got good weather. They're gonna play away. They're gonna get whatever weather comes wherever they play at. But
Yep.
because you're not playing the likes of Buffaloes in the middle of December. You're not playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the middle of December, most likely. Most of those times, those games are early in the year, so that the NFL can get these guys to play against each other in pretty good weather, so that they can get a show whether it's in Miami or it's in Kansas City, or in Buffalo, blah blah blah. When the playoffs come around, it's so cold in certain places, like Minnesota. Minnesota has to be inside.
right, right.
They can't have a game outside of
When
Minnesota.
they were outside, guess what? They went to 4 straight Super Bowls too. Not 4 straight, but they went to 4 Super Bowls too when they were outside. The
Yeah,
purple people eaters.
because
Yes, yes, and this is what I agree with what you are saying, which is what
gotta,
I'm saying
gotta
about
come to,
being
you gotta.
being as prepared as you can be.
I
Well,
know.
let me say this. Let me say this. I
I,
believe that's what I think Miami realized this year they're going to need home field advantage. And I think with that, this is why they're so active in free agency because they realize, hey, we're not going to be able to do this the way we want to unless we get home field advantage. And you got to come down here because I'm going to tell you something. It's a little bit of an advantage for Miami in January when it's 75 degrees and that humidity down there is and 80 degrees on that sideline and that humidity down there is tearing you up too.
yes,
They
sir.
have the advantage now. So
Yep.
I think that they are realizing, hey, they realized this year, hey, we're not going to be able to travel there. They're going to have to come here. So you know what? We're going to be as active as we can in free agency, as active as we can in the draft. Make sure we build this up and make you have to come through here in order to get there. I think McDaniels is realizing this is why, going back to Vito's point, why it was so important for Dan Quinn to actually talk to Joe Gibbs. Because guess who knows what every place has a different set of challenges. And so Dan Quinn wanted to fully understand what the challenges was here. So what did he do? He talked to Gibbs. Hey man, what do you got to do here? What was your strategy? And I can tell you what Gibbs' strategy was. You know what his strategy? Run the ball, keep the game close, wear them down. We originally wear them down with Riggins, and then at the end, I'm gonna tear you up with this passing game. And I'm gonna win. And what he would do is win the home games, win the division games. And then whatever else is left, the 1 or 2 games that I might lose by 2 or 3. Redskins 2 times have had seasons. In the 83 season, they only lost 2 games in the 83 season. They went 14-2, only lost 2 games by a total of 6 points. In the 92 season, the same thing. They only lost, they went I think they went no, they went 13-3 or 14. Whichever they went, they only lost by a total of like 3 points or 2 points. because what is strategy? Win at home, protect your home field, win the division games, and then try to, do whatever you could do in between. So every place has a different set of challenges. And I think Miami's set of challenges down there is that home field advantage. Is that home field is, hey, it's extremely hot down here, but it's extremely cold when we go on the road.
Yeah. And Quinn also, Joe told Quinn that and this may hint to Quinn being here for a number of years outside of the 3 or 4 that he's on contract. Joe told him that he had to win to get football back into the hands of the city because they miss football really bad there. He didn't say for it to stay in Landover.
Right.
He said it. He said the city needs that. He said this is the only place because football is because it's in the nation's capital. He said our football team is the only team that brings everybody and everything in the city together.
Yeah, I agree. This is a Redskins town.
He said that city
But
feeds
hold up. Can I go to one more point about that weather thing?
for sure.
Have y'all ever, do y'all know in the wintertime, right? How it'll get to like 60 degrees and it'll feel like it's summertime almost, or 70 degrees. You be like, dang, it feel like summertime out here because it's been so cold during that time. And on the reverse end, in the summertime, when it'll go down to like maybe 60, you like, dang, it's cold out here. Well, this is what Miami has to deal with. So that 20 degrees feels like minus 10 for them because they spend there every day in 80 and 75 degree weather. When they do go on the road, it's not just cold, it's extra cold for them.
Yeah. That's in comparison to Mike Tyson in his prime and his contenders, thinking it's all sweet until they actually got in the ring with Mike.
That's why.
That's what the comparison is for Miami. That's the reality
your body
for
has
Miami.
adjusted, right? Your body has adjusted to that 75 degrees. So when you go down to 20 out of nowhere, you ain't, it's not like you in Washington, D.C. where it's around 50 at that time. So it's not that bad. No, you're coming from 75 to the 20s.
And we low key can go anywhere because we get the type of weather that we get. Our weather's so crazy that we always get a rain game, at least 2 months a season, because we just don't know how it's gonna act. And we played in rain a lot the last couple of seasons, even if it's the little drizzling rain and shit like that.
Absolutely.
We used to have at least a snow game like once every 2 years. Here, we didn't. It would be snow somewhere else. It really don't snow as much as it used to back in the day, as far as on Sundays and stuff like that. But because it's so cold here, we've experienced those temperatures.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because back, what was that? The RG3 season, didn't it snow twice that year?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah,
it snowed twice in that season. I mean, at the games, it snowed more. Actually, that was the season. I think me, bro, and Point was out getting busy, getting money on the road, messing with that snow. But
so that's why I say it's you gotta understand that in their weather, it's just a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit different. So I think that they really have no choice but to play the regular season game and play it very well. Shout out to everybody out there listening, and shout out to the people out there listening who might be in Miami or from the Miami Dolphins. You know what I mean? Hey, y'all gotta play the regular season game. You gotta really play and make them go through that, especially this year and over the next 2 years. Where back in the day you would have 2 teams that get the bye. You don't have that anymore. It's only one team gets the bye in the playoffs. So that regular season is even more important than what it was back in the day, because you at least would get a bye, so you get a chance to maybe go travel to one of these places, maybe a little bit, you get extra time to go travel and get your body maybe adjusted with that extra week. But you're not able to do that anymore. It's only one team that gets the bye.
Yeah.
So that regular season is even more important, especially to the Dolphins, because their weather is really just one-sided. You know what I mean? It's really just one-sided. So, again, that's why I feel like they've been so active in free agency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, man, we ain't gonna hold them too long tonight. Which y'all, we gonna go ahead and get y'all final thoughts in here. Let me see what y'all got going on as far as the final thoughts, as far as where we are right now. And
Thank you.
where would y'all like to see us go from here? What would you like to see from here? Oh no, I got one question before we get into the final thoughts. And I wanted to ask this earlier. Okay, let's say the first pick for the Chicago Bears go to Jalen Daniels. And now you have Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Joe Alt on the board. All on the board together. What do? Let's go around the board.
I told you what my pick is, and I'm gonna stick with my pick. So
what would I do, or what do I think the team would do?
I'm going
Both.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Go back. What's the best choice for you? And then what do you think the team would do in that situation?
Okay.
To make it interesting, because I got more than one scenario, but I just keep one. What I think the team would do if Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Joe Alt was available, I think that they would pick Caleb Williams. What I would do, I would pick Marvin Harrison Jr. But I don't think Joe Alt would be wrong. But I'm gonna stick with what I would do.
What you got, Big Son?
Me personally, at that spot. Now you said Marvin Harrison Jr. sitting there, or
No, I say
what?
let's say Chicago picks Jalen Daniels first. And now you got a board.
Okay.
You got a board. You got four options. You could trade down. You can go Joe Alt. You can go Caleb Williams, or you can go Marvin Harrison Jr. What do?
I would trade down, and it would either be the Falcons that I would trade down to just for the capital of next year, and would have been so
Falcons
much.
don't need a quarterback.
If
Huh?
he said if those three players was right there, if the Bears picked Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, Joe Alt, and Marvin Harrison Jr. was left, who would you pick, and what would you think the team would pick if those three
Right.
were available with the number two?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm doing is I'm trading out of that spot. I'm going to get some capital for next year.
No, we're not talking about that. We're saying if you got to pick, what would you pick right there?
If you have to pick.
He said that's
Said,
what he
or
would
trade
do.
out. Or trade out.
That's
Trade
what I
out.
would do. I thought the question was just based on those three. I would, none of them.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm trading out of that pick to get
So
some
what do you
capital
think
for
the
next
team would
year.
do?
But the team,
Who would
the
you trade? You
team,
said trade to the Falcons. Let's say the Falcons not the option because they got a quarterback. Because right now the Falcons is at number 8. So
They
you
not
they
trade
an
down to 8.
they
You
get
go
the
from 2 to 8.
capital for
they
next
not an
the
option.
capital for next year.
Let's
The
say they don't
Falcons,
want to trade
They
up
are option. Why they not option?
because
they
they
don't
have
need
a
a
quarterback.
quarterback.
Yeah, so I agree.
They don't need a wide receiver.
I don't think they trading up to do
They're
that.
They
not
don't need a
trading up.
lineman.
I don't think they're gonna trade up for that.
They're not
I don't.
trading up for that.
Yeah, I don't got them trading up for that.
Nah.
I do.
I got somebody who
I got
wants
them trading up for that.
So I got maybe the Giants
I would have,
trading up. I
Hold
got
on.
maybe the Giants.
Right.
I got
and I'm not giving the Giants. I'm not giving the Giants that type of capital. So that wouldn't even be a question.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I got the Giants maybe trying to trade up. I got the Raiders maybe trying to trade up. I got who else might need it? The Vikings.
The Raiders coming from 12.
I got the Vikings.
You
Yeah,
would
I'm
go
about to
down
say
to
the
12.
Raiders trade up to me,
You
nigga.
would drop to 12.
Yeah, I said if that was the case, if they came at me with an offer, you have to give me a hell of a lot to come all the way up there, Holmes.
Yeah, you gonna
You know
drop
what
to
I'm
12?
saying?
What you gonna drop to 12 point?
No, I'm not trading. Me personally, I'm just saying these are the teams that need quarterbacks.
Right.
That's going to trade up. The rest of them teams not trying to trade up unless they really want Joe Alt.
Yeah, what's the name? That's all I say. What's the name would trade up for him? Falcons would trade up for him.
I think Tennessee.
I told you the
I think
Chargers is the
Tennessee.
team that you would worry about getting Joe Alt, but I would trade to the third spot. If the Chargers got the 4th pick, I'm trading to the third spot. If they got the fifth pick, I'm trading between the third and the fourth because I still get value and I get their pick. The team I traded to not gonna be able to trade their pick with the Chargers after I traded to them, so they're gonna have to pick in that spot. I got one more team that the Chargers will have to move up in front of, and whatever the team I trade with, what they're gonna have to give up, the Chargers is just gonna wait in that spot. They're not gonna give up just to get in front of me because I'm gonna still be in front of the Chargers if I trade with the third or fourth team and they fifth.
So the Patriots, you think the Patriots will
Y'all
move
feel
up one
me?
spot?
Like if they fifth and I know they're going for alt, then I'm trading back from 2 between number 3 and number 4. So that if the Chargers want to move up, they still got to go through me to get alt. And I'm not gonna let them do that because I already got what I needed to get from the first trade.
Yeah, see, and the Patriots would take Caleb. They would come up and take Caleb. They gonna get a new quarterback.
They will move up. You think the Patriots gonna move up one
They
spot?
can even get Mark. Well, yeah, they need a quarterback.
I think they would to get their man. Why wouldn't they?
I don't got the Patriots moving up.
I think they might. I think
this is not Belichick. This is not Belichick Patriots. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that.
It's still Robert Kraft Patriots though.
Yeah, I don't got them moving up one spot.
I think Drake May. I think Drake May is on their board, and I think Jaden Daniels is on their board, and I think I don't think Caleb is really on their board. If they can get Caleb,
JJ McCarthy is on their board.
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Right. Huh? I think Drake May is on their board too.
Yeah, Drake May is on their board too, and Daniels. Daniels is on their board as well.
Look out for Devin.
They don't know if Daniels gonna last that long.
Devin Leary in Kentucky might be somebody too they look at if they don't pick a quarterback first. Like if they got a Marvin. Yeah. Devin Leary could throw far.
That's my opinion.
Throw. JJ McCarthy can throw.
Do you think Bo?
What about moving down to Tennessee? I think Tennessee is the ideal.
Yes. Huh?
I think
I'm talking about second round.
Tennessee just got a tackle though.
No, I'm talking about for a quarterback.
For a quarterback. Penix release.
They got Levis.
Penix release is going to probably get him pushed back a little bit. His numbers and all that too from having powerhouses at wideout. And I don't mean that he can't play without that. I'm just saying that he had powerhouses at wideout. And even though not neighbors, what's that guy in Washington? What's his name? Romeo. Even though Romeo,
Romo.
Romo
Duze, something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Even though he was the man, they got a kid, Jordan Poyer or Justin Poyer or Justin. I think his name Justin Poyer. If it's not that, it's something like that. I'll go find it out exactly. But it was the number 2 in Washington, and Steve Smith said that he's probably better than Rome is. Again, having 2 receivers like that makes for a heck of a quarterback in college. I.e. the same way that Jaden Daniels had a heck of a squad at LSU on the offensive side. What I will say is that I watched Penix's release, and I don't like that part of his mechanics, and I think that might drop him some. He didn't throw in the combine. He did throw in the combine too, and that was just something that stood out to me. That his unorthodox a little bit compared to everybody else's. It's not super ugly like a Cartwright jumper, but I feel like that just might have some people back up a little bit on rushing to pick them, at least early.
I got a question. So before we go, oh yeah, and I'll say what I'll do because I ain't gonna.
No, hold on. Let me get this in here. I think Tennessee might be the ideal pick to try to move up and get another quarterback or try to get a quarterback. Will Levis wasn't a first round pick last year, was he? Levis wasn't a first round pick.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hold on, Leo. I'm about to come right back in. I can't hear you.
So look.
There you go.
So as far as what I would do, me personally,
right?
My pick is Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to effectively help the offense the most right now, even more than any of the quarterbacks, because I think Sam Howell's okay, but I think with Terry McLaurin on one side, Marvin Harrison on one side, right now that directly makes your team a winner. What do I think that they would do? I think because Caleb Williams does have a history with Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know if they pick him. If he believes in him, then they pick Caleb Williams. If
bad. Excuse me. If not, I think they pick Joe Alt because I think that's who they really want right now. Anyway.
So you think they're going off the first round?
Yes, it's a safe pick.
Oh. Hey, bro, let me back in when I come in. I'm about to leave and come back because I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a safe pick.
So you think they're going off?
Yes.
When they come back. Let me say this. They can go or Harrison. However, I think that it's suspect on both ends. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Is not on both ends. I think Harrison is the pick that you make because you have McLaurin and you have Doxson. So I think Harrison instantly makes your passing game super dynamic. Instantly, and like y'all said, he's the most polished player, this, that, and the other. So this will affect your offense immediately. I think even if you get all, that's going to affect your offense immediately too. But I don't think it's going to be the same way that it would be with a Harrison. I do believe that you can we have the 35th pick. I believe there will be still a good lineman on the board left at the 35th pick. And even if there are good receivers left at the 35th pick, I just don't see another Marvin Harrison there because of his size.
I mean,
Nah,
I was about to say he might not be right there, but Neighbors with a trade back, not too far back. Neighbors is still in the neighborhood, and he's damn good.
Here's the thing with the Neighbors pick, and I absolutely love this kid. This is my favorite receiver coming out this draft. I really, really like him. But if you pick Neighbors, not that Terry's going to beef because Terry's handled anybody else you brought in fine. But if you bring in Neighbors, you're essentially bringing in Terry McLaurin 2.0, who may be just as good as Terry is right now coming out of school. But that's because of how fast he is and how much separation he can get in his routes. And he's a really good route runner. But the size difference that Marvin Harrison presents in comparison, and Neighbors had almost 300 more yards than Marvin Harrison, a little bit more catches, just as many touchdowns, if not one more. So his numbers suggest that he is just as much of a dog. But that 4 inches and 20 more pounds, it screams mismatch and disadvantage all over the board, bro. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you can miss out on that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys that a lot of guys that catch with their bodies, because that's why I told y'all go watch that Steve Smith jump, because it's a couple of guys that I thought were good that he even says catches the ball with their body way too much. And y'all know, like I know, it's all about the pluck game in the NFL. It's all about who can snatch it out the air.
Listen, at best, he's Megatron, right? At worst, at best, he's Megatron Randy Moss, right? Mm-hmm. At worst, he's DK Metcalf.
Right. Now, real quick, just to add while we on the same subject, if you are interested in Joe Alt, do you make a push at a Mike Williams or a Smith with that just got released from the Saints?
Michael Thomas, you mean?
Michael Thomas, excuse me. Michael Thomas or who I name at first?
Or you said Mike Williams.
Mike Williams
from the Chargers. Or Keenan Allen.
If you don't, if you do go to all, you want to go. If you do go all, you want to go get another receiver.
That's what I said. Do you try another veteran than Curtis Samuels, or do you go for a rookie?
No, you don't go Curtis Samuels when you can get Mike Williams. No offense to Curtis Samuels,
for the size, right?
Yeah. You need him a counterpart. Like,
however, though, I'm gonna say this with the way that these offenses are called nowadays.
I heard Baltimore trying to not to cut you off, my bad, but I heard Baltimore trying to trade for Deebo Samuel.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm about to say they ain't that good Deebo.
What I'm saying is that you need a counterpart. The guys,
I can see Michael Thomas in Baltimore. I can see Michael Thomas in Baltimore if they can afford it. Or if they can, because Lamar needs somebody that can track the ball down and that's going to make the
Exactly.
catches. I
You
can
need a
see that. I
you
can see
need a
that being there.
counterpart. You get
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So with Harrison Jr., that's the counterpart for Terry. That's the perfect counterpart for Terry.
Well, let me
Because this
say
is the
this.
thing, you can't double both of them at the same time.
Right. True. True.
Well, let me say this is with the way that the offenses are called nowadays, these running backs are used as, I mean, these wide receivers are used as running backs as well. So I think if you don't bring back a Curtis Samuel, then you need somebody, and maybe that's why they got Crowder. Maybe they're gonna use Crowder in that type of way, or they plan on using Crowder in the type of way.
Austin Eckler, bruh.
Nah, they said that Crowder's going to be the special teams guy, and he's going to be the veteran slot, which means that he's likely going to be the teacher of Dotson or whoever's going to be in the slot, and he'll be their backup if they're not getting it.
Right, which I'm comfortable with. Because Crowder, when he did go in
No,
that,
that's fine. That's how
yeah,
you know what he's doing.
yeah,
And like what I sent in the message, he one of the last original Redskins.
right,
Yeah.
right,
I like that
right.
he was drafted here. I do like that.
Yes, yes, and while we still had the name,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody that's on the squad not really not a part of that squad that had the name.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, he's a
right.
Redskin. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you got Jonathan was
Yeah.
right. Yeah, one of the Reds, but there's very few of them left in the building. You know.
And like I said, I like somebody that got that. Like I said, after talking to Joe Gibbs, and then for him to sign him back, that meant a lot to me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It meant a lot to me to know that he's not here just to get back to the Cowboys, in my opinion. I really do think that he's trying to build a culture of winning. Yes, he may be going to get players that he's familiar with, but again, I'm also using them as teachers instead of trying to tell guys what to do. I'm gonna give you somebody that will be the example for you. And if you're better than them, I'm gonna put you on the field in front of them. They're not getting that much money that they can't be benched.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm
I agree
saying?
with that.
So if you got a Bobby Wagner who turns into a assistant Mike linebacker, assistant coach for you on the defensive side, whoever's at that position, if you need a Luvu there, if you need a rookie that you draft there, if you get a Trotter or something like that, and you put him there, you have one of the best teachers at middle linebacker that's playing the game today, if not the best
Yeah.
Mike linebacker in the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Not to take anything from anybody else, because I might be missing a couple of players, but again, one of the best, if not the best, due to numbers and his rep. He's gotten Super Bowls, you know, so it's been to Super Bowls, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and won one. So his numbers, even at 33 years old, aren't shy away from him having another spectacular season. And if he does not play via injury or anything else like that, no, Lord willing, that's not the case. But I believe that he can tell whatever linebackers in there where you need to be and what your job is what you're to do, how to practice, how to prepare for an opponent, how to look at film and different things like that. That's going to matter after this season.
All right, let's go through the
Um.
receivers. Hold on,
Can
just
how
go ahead,
can,
Big Time.
can I get one there? One real quick question. First of all, what have we done with the kicking thing? Is Slash still on the mob? Have they let him go yet, or what's going on?
I think they're gonna go with the guy they signed.
McManus.
That's what I'm saying. Slash still in the building though, right?
No, Sly is a free agent.
He's a free agent.
Yes, Joey Sly is a
Oh,
free agent.
okay. So I didn't know that went down.
Yeah.
Another question. This is what my main question. Ever since we got Eckler, what is the rotation going to look like with Eckler in there? Do you think they're going to try to use all three of them, or they going to try to do a dual threat like when we had Liddell Betts and Clinton Portis back there getting it in for the season? I think Clinton had 1,300 yards a season. Liddell had something like 1,100, or maybe just cracked 1,000, 1,046 or something like that. What do y'all think? What's your thoughts on that?
I think Eckler's going to be the starter, and I think that Robinson's going to come in and give him a breather. I think Eckler is going to be the starter, and I think Eckler is going to be the bull horse with the team. I don't see Robinson challenging Eckler for that spot. Personally,
No, not challenging, like the dual threat.
I don't think
The
it's going to be a
year
dual
that
threat. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be a dual threat. I think this is Eckler's position. I think Eckler has the job, and then Robinson is going to come in as his backup.
I
I
mean,
think
That's
if
what's the
my
name?
anything,
opinion. That's my
What's the
opinion.
name? We knew
I
that
don't
Clayton
think so.
Portis had the
I
job.
don't think so.
It was his job, but
Look at if you
you
look at
know,
if you look at Kingsbury other offenses, he ran a lot of two running back sets. I think that Eckler and Robinson will be on the field quite a bit together. If he likes Robinson, I don't know if he likes Robinson or not, but let's say he does, and if he does, I think him and Eckler will be on the field a lot together.
I don't think Robinson has done anything wrong to warrant that he shouldn't be the starter right now. What I do think is that the reason why Eckler will start is that he presents dual capability. Brian Robinson Jr. has shown flashes of being able to catch out the backfield and make a play, but it is not something that the other team has to prepare for. The other team has to prepare for Austin Eckler being a dual threat. And you know how we used to have Chris Thompson when he got in the game, everybody knew we were passing the ball. You know what I'm saying? When we had
mhm,
certain other backs. Like you knew what we were going to do when we had what's my man that came from the Vikings that we had McKissick. McKissick.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
when he got in the game, you knew we were getting ready to pass the ball. Like even if he ran the ball, okay, cool. But once he got in certain situations, if it's 2nd and 13, we're getting ready to throw the ball to him out the backfield. Like you already defenses were able to plan
mhm.
that because there were things that we just kept doing. With Austin Eckler, you're going to be able to run between the tackles with a good line. You're going to be able to run to the edge because he's fast enough to be able to get outside. And if you want to throw the ball with the quarterback, you can throw the ball with because Austin Eckler is going to be an available target. And because we have Zach Ertz, I think that you have two safety options before you even decide to go to a McLaurin or whoever the other options are as your outside threats.
Right.
Okay, what you think, bro?
No, I said it. I think Eckler's
Oh,
gonna be the back. I think he's gonna be
oh
the
yeah, 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 yeah. You did.
yeah.
Point.
Just to
You
go,
already.
can we go over the wide receivers? Because there's quite a few wide receivers left. On the market, if y'all wanted to go over them. I mean, you got Mike
Nah,
Williams.
man, we got to save something for tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there's quite a few wide receivers left on the board. You know what I'm saying? Quite a few.
Now,
So
remember what I said last night though. I thought day 3 was going to be the biggest day. I called it. I said
yeah,
day 3 going to be one of the most important days, and it really was, in my opinion.
I
yeah,
mean, well, I think you made your splash pick in the third day, but I'm not going to lie. I really think that in a journalistic way, I think the first day was your most important.
I think so.
Your second day was your best graded, and today was just was icing on the cake. I think it was probably graded just as high as any other day, but I think it was icing on the cake. The reason why I said the first day is the best day is because it established that you were here for business. It established that you were here for a reason and you made every mark that you were trying to make. Maybe some of the bigger people that we wanted to get earlier, but if you look at what they've been able to build around what they added so far, they've done really well with the money so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they haven't really spent a lot on a lot of these
Hey,
players. I
hey,
will
hey,
give
look,
them that
hey,
much.
hey, Ro. Now, are you going to ease up on Peters a little bit, man?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We all got to see him on the field. I really
Right,
believe that
right.
because again, I'm still not going to forget the Dan Snyder days, and I'm not. I don't think that these are Dan Snyder picks because if
No.
they were, they
They
would have been.
definitely not.
We would have had
They
We
definitely
would have
not.
had Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley if it was up to Dan
Yeah.
Snyder.
Uh huh.
All right, I Thunder and Lightning would have been some type of retarded down this joke.
Yeah.
But excuse me, excuse me. But what I will say is that these were strategic, and I haven't seen strategic around here in a long time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something that is exciting. I do think that before I get excited, I would like to see 4 games. I don't really want to see preseason because I will like to see preseason because the scheme will be implemented. But I don't care. I would care to see the first 4 games of the season before I try to show my main excitement.
Right.
I don't know, man. Look, I'm gonna be real. Bobby
I already
Wagner.
know what Leo about to say. He is
Bob,
static for State Prom.
yeah, Bobby Wagner on your defense. Um, with a coach that understands defense is a very dangerous thing. And I think that finally we got somebody behind Payne and Allen that can show how good they are actually playing. I feel like Cole Holcomb was very good at it. I feel like Simon Davis is okay, but this is somebody that stuffs the run. This is somebody that is short tackler. This is somebody that you don't even want to run towards. You know what I mean? So I think that changes the whole middle of your defense now. You know what I'm saying? So you got somebody like him, and what you did on the edges is to me a very good thing. Like Louisville and Fowler and um, Armstrong, whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying? And Dorrance
Yeah.
going to have to. I'm gonna be real. Dorrance gonna
Dorrance
have to.
Armstrong, yeah.
I know his name, man. I'm just saying he gonna have to earn my respect a little bit because he did come over from Dallas, and that seems to be his homie pick. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he got a lot
Okay.
of money.
True.
I feel
True.
like he got a lot of money, and I
All right.
When I looked at Bryce Huff, I think we could have spent that on Bryce Huff.
True. All right. So we got 5 minutes left in the show. This last one going hit home. It's going to hit home hard. With are you guys okay now with
What's
what
that?
we have done on the defensive side of the ball? Can you sit back and take a breather and take a breath deep in and say, and when you breathe out, you don't have Chase or Montez on your mind? Can you
No,
breathe easy right
no,
now?
no,
Nah,
no,
no.
no.
I'm happy that we done what we done in the free agency, but the draft means a lot. And then, like V said, those first 4 games means a lot. You could say, I don't care how good you are on paper. If you go out there and people are running around your edges and running upfield, you know what they're going to say? Montez Sweat and Chase Young. So you got to come and erase that on the field. You can't erase that on in the preseason or in off season or my opinion.
No, I'm gonna say no too because at the end of the day, um, we one thing that I have noticed is Josh Hurst don't mind hyping you up and will tank on you. He don't give a goddamn. He don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? So he will hype you up and the fact that we do like to play these media games here in Washington, um it doesn't give me a lot of confidence, but the player itself, Bobby Wagner's production speaks for itself. You see what I'm saying? So that part, but he does not play the same position as Chase. And we still have not addressed the cornerback position because I know last year, for instance, if we would have lost Kendall Fuller during the season, let's say to an injury, we would have looked even worse than what we looked when he was there. And so I just think we still got to address the cornerback position for sure. And I still think we need to do a little bit more at defensive end too, if you ask me. So yeah, I'm not ready to give him that yet.
I'd like to say that I'm not as worried at cornerback only because if you look at Dallas's success in recent history, they took young cornerbacks and turned them into all pros.
Mhm.
So I'm
I
going to
agree with
say
that.
that some of their system, I believe, allow for them to play freely. And if you look at Forbes' tape, like I said about him yesterday, his tape and Deron Bland tape are far from each other. I mean, there's plays that Forbes makes in college and coverage that are plays that I don't think he was able to make because he's in the wrong coverage. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have to play to your strengths. And if you're not strong at something, same thing I said with RG3 and Jay Gruden. If you're calling plays that he's not running well in practice, whose fault is that essentially? Is that RG3 because he can't get it right? Or is it the coach's fault for calling something that doesn't put your team in the best position to win? You know what I'm saying? So if those guys can get it right, again, and you can address that situation with good cornerbacks in the draft, even with your second and your third round picks, because you have such high picks. We're talking about top 5, top 100 in the ESPN board and NFL board, and five of those picks. If you pick 2 cornerbacks, you're essentially having the same cornerbacks that Dallas had over the last 2 years, except for picking up Stephon Gilmore. And if you ask me, if Trayvon Diggs and Bland were starting, Stephon Gilmore would have got less time. And that's still two cornerbacks that are under 4 or 5 years in the league that would have been Pro Bowl cornerbacks that have actually broken team records on top of that. So Emmanuel Forbes still has a chance or an opportunity
It's like she heard exactly what
to get better because Emmanuel Forbes has some flashes of being a good cornerback. Those plays that he made early on in the season before the trade of Chase and before Chase and Sweat were really good. He had almost had a pick in the first game of the season, ended up getting a pick in the second game of the season. Those were 2 wins, so maybe I am speaking on bright spots rather than bad spots. He had a tough schedule going in after that. You had Buffalo the third game of the season. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, he didn't give up a 100-yard receiver in that particular game, and that's a Power 5 team. Something else got broken down during the season that I think these guys just lost either understanding of what they were supposed to do. Like I said, Del Rio was famous for adjusting a calls in the second half after a first half, whether it was bad or good. Even when Darby was there, I even backed him up, and we got this all our tapes on film. We got me backing up Darby a lot because in the second halves he played well. We didn't have those adjustments in the second half. So I do agree with you that we do have to address that part of the secondary because it is very important because we were super, super thin once somebody went down or when they benched Forbes, when they put in the backup of Holmes, it still looked like what are you doing? I'd rather you play Forbes, but because Forbes was playing as bad as he was at the time, I do understand it sitting him down. But again, I didn't personally like blaming him on that when I thought that it was just putting your team in a bad situation. I also told y'all that because it was supposedly a contract year between Chase and Sweat, that they were putting too much on those two guys' shoulders. Were they showing up in games and coming up and making plays? Yes. But if Chase is coming back from an ACL injury that he's missed 17 games or 17 months of football, why are we playing him as many minutes without rotating somebody else when you guys had success the year before with playing more people on the line?
I swear, bro, that's what I kept saying the whole year. Like, why is they not rotating?
And you hurt your corners not having no pass. Look at Detroit. Detroit with Hutchinson and with the other guys that they had on the line that were causing havoc this year. Their cornerbacks were able to play free, and they got rid of Okuda. I thought they were going to suffer getting rid of Okuda, and they played lights out this year. Even though they did have Carter Johnson, who was really good, but again, they were able to play a little more freer and get more contact with breaking up passes or getting turnovers because they can jump routes and certain things like that when they know that they're going to get pressure. The edge is going to be important, but I also think that because the offensive side is so high this year, that only certain teams are looking to address their edge in the draft. So we also have an opportunity to get the edge taken care of, and I think that the players that they've brought in can cause enough pressure on downs needed. And because I think sneakily Louvu will be used or Jamin Davis will be used to now start bringing a little bit more pressure. They'll having that extra safety and chin. You got somebody that understands coverage and can play on that tight end where you with all that running back out the backfield where we were getting beat, just not having the linebackers in position. That tight end over the middle, those plays that they were able to make, Bobby Wagner, even if he is a little older, should be able to cover majority of the tight ends that you're going to face throughout the year. Having to practice against Ertz is going to be excellent for him in practice, also to teach the young guys, but also for him to be able to cover the other tight ends in the league because you got a veteran at that spot running every single route that Kingsbury could give him for you to be able to cover the tight ends that you're going to have to face throughout the season. So I think we're in a really good situation on paper. And even if you look at those players' production, if these guys are able to stay healthy on the field, which they have done in the past, which I have better confidence of them staying healthy than I did of other players because we just didn't manage these things well. So if our staff and everything like that manages these things well and you don't have that big injury, I really, really think that there's flashes to be excited, but I know I need to see it on the field because we've done this before. And it's not just because we've done it in the past, but other teams have done it before and it didn't translate. So I got to see it on the field to say, okay, I can get the idea of why you signed this person. Okay, I can see why the Clelin Ferrell signing makes sense now because it didn't make sense to me at all when you did it. Okay, this is why you signed McManus instead of having Joey Sly be the be the kicker. Okay, this is why you didn't go out and draft a quarterback. Or okay, this is why you said that you wanted Mariota as the backup instead of keeping Jacoby Brissett. Like these things have to translate on the field for me to say, all right, they make sense now. On paper, you can take us to the playoffs already. Now, whether we get to the divisional round or the championship is up to y'all, but you can take us to the playoffs right now with the team that we got right now. I feel like you can beat the Cowboys. I know you can beat the Giants, and I feel like you can compete with the Eagles because you were already doing that with a team that essentially was tanking last year. In the second game, for sure, they were on tank status, and they still could have beat them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So any more final thoughts? That's it. Which that's it. That's pretty much.
The final thought I got is that the only teams looking at Chase right now are the Saints and the Panthers, and we still haven't picked them up. I rest my case.
This is my final thought is again, when it comes to the media game, don't hype us up for a big crash. You guys seem to be making good moves. You guys seem to be trying to do the right things. You guys, I like the players that they got because none of them seem to have injury problems. Extended injury problems.
Mm-hmm.
They all seem to be, even if they don't play well throughout the years, they do play at least. And so I think even if they lean towards How, I think that would be the reason that they do lead towards How because hey, with the him getting thrashed the way he did last year, and still being able to survive that, I think you could pretty much say that he's going to be there to play. So at least you'll be able to work with that if they do stick with How. So that's one thing I will give them credit for. But don't hype us up if you ain't planning on going all the way with it. You have put a lot of pressure. I've been watching around Redskins Nation. You have put a lot of pressure on yourselves with these moves that you've made. Trust. We are going to expect you to win now. So if you are thinking about getting a quarterback, you better be sure that he can win now because this fan base is going to expect you to win this year. Look around. Go if y'all think if you listening, you from the Redskins organization, whatever, go look at Twitter. Go look at what people are saying. They're going to expect you to win now, especially with bringing in a Bobby Wagner, bringing in the Pro Bowl players. People expect you to win now. So, that's my final thought. Don't play the media game unless you're planning on winning. What
Hey,
y'all got?
that's been the rule of thumb since Snyder took over the team. Every time this team was bad, like every 3 years, we back up and running. So it's about that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, boy. So I guess that's what we got for right now. What you got, Leo? You got a final thought?
Nah, man, my final thoughts, man, really just, let's see what we're going to do tomorrow. I think that free agency is a 5-day process. So it's 2 more days, real days of free agency. After that, it's picking, whatever the case may be. But so we got, I think, 2 more days of free agency, and potentially after getting Wagner, if we're trying to add anything else that'll entice people to come along, if it's a defensive thing that we're trying to, focus on. Um, if not, I mean, I really think that we should have tried to go after Hunter Henry or somebody like that. So maybe like that tight end position we might focus on in the draft.
He
And
already signed.
huh?
He already signed.
No, I know. No, I'm just saying, like, I thought that we should have went after somebody like him initially. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I'm saying maybe we might focus on the tight end position in the draft. If not, I'd like to see us, get a lineman or something like that. Still get a couple more pieces and go into draft with leverage. Go into draft with a lot of leverage. And
Yeah.
honestly, look at a Michael Thomas, look at a Mike Williams. I'm not saying we should get them, but look into what we can do with them, because maybe we might not need a Marvin Harrison. You know what I mean? We might can get like Vito was saying, we might can get a Mike Thomas with Terry McLaurin and have a Joe Alton and then we still got two top 35 picks. You know what I'm saying? 36 picks. So
Brendan
it's
Rice.
it's an endless possibility where we could add, other players to the sauce, so I'm
Brendan
just
Rice, man.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that tight end that Vito had in the group chat who caught the ball and thought his drill was over, had the ball in his right hand and then caught that thing to the left and kept it moving to finish the drill, one hand. You know what I'm saying? That's a good pick.
I
You got
mean,
Jared Wiley out there. You got the dude Javante Sanders out of Texas. Benson not it's some good tight ends out there in the draft. So
Two quick,
yeah.
yeah,
and if y'all want to leave one for tomorrow, you can. But two quick questions that would be for the night. That's cool. We can end all if y'all want to, or just two quick questions real quick. One would be,
yeah.
what do you think that they would do day 4, day 5, if there's anything left to do that you have to do? And the last thing would be if they were to pick a quarterback with what they have done with the team so far, if they were to pick one and not any other scenario, if they were to pick a quarterback, whether they kept Sam Howell or not, who would you pick to start with who they have available right now with what has been done to the team in hopes that they could move the team forward to being a winner?
If they was to pick a quarterback, I still would start Sam Howell only because I think Sam Howell is the
No,
only. Oh,
no,
what?
that's not the option. Sam is here, but I'm just saying if they pick a quarterback, who would be the quarterback pick? It's not about who's starting.
Who would the
If,
quarterback be?
yeah,
It
if
would
they,
be Jaden Daniels probably, or probably No, sorry, Caleb.
I think it'll be
Probably
Caleb.
Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams if Chicago didn't get him.
Yeah. I think it'll be Caleb.
Mm, I think it would be Daniels. Me personally.
I oddly enough think that even though I don't like the pick, I really think that our team is probably higher on Mike May. I mean on Drake May.
Drake May.
Great.
I don't know why. I don't know why. That would be a mistake, though. Honestly, if they did that, I think you might throw away much of what you just done in free
I'm
agency.
about to say,
I
yeah, you
think I
kind of
think
like,
Cliff Kingsbury being familiar with Caleb Williams, if we are going to draft one of those quarterbacks and all of them are available, it would be Caleb Williams.
How would you guys feel about that? Even with having the defense that we have so far set up, and a,
I
and
would
a, and an offensive line, so he shouldn't have to run for his life like he did. And
um,
bro,
I would possibly have to
I wouldn't be happy, but
do some,
I take it.
what I want to say, some prerequisite arrangement so I don't damage anything. No TV. I might be somewhere, just listen to it. I have my phone. 'Cause I'll be liable to break a TV. We pick that boy. So
Yeah,
serious. I'll be that
yeah.
mad.
I don't think it would work out because I don't think mentally he's tough enough, especially to be here because he don't know. You start losing over here, they're gonna talk about you like a dog. And
Yeah,
so I'm not sure he talking about he want part of the team and he's not going to participate in the in the draft workouts because it's only one of him and all them stupid things he's just said in the draft. You can't come here and say those stupid things because you will get obliterated by the media here and we'll talk about you back like a dog.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm not sure this is the place he needs to be personally. I think he's a little bit too full of himself and he's going to rub a lot of fans the wrong way.
And that's why I think that they looked at May as hard as they did, because I'm not sure that, like I said, I don't even think it's whether Williams is the better quarterback or not in that aspect because of the what he said out his mouth. And then it's sort of like LeVar Ball because of him and how he ran his mouth, the father's backing the idea that the son has too. And I saw more of Caleb with his mom. So I don't even know where this is coming from. Then it's just bad press. It's just bad press. And with that bad press, ex players have a certain way that they feel about this, because we can all sit on here and name for days how many former stars and current stars of the NFL today could get paid from their teams in a larger manner or have a part stake in the team with what they've built for those organizations.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world are you going to come out and say this as a college football player? I just don't even understand. You didn't even win Heisman 4 years. If you won the Heisman 4 years in a row, maybe I would say he might got the reason to say something like that, bro. But you don't have that. You don't even have it 2 years in a row.
You don't have a national championship.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
You
it
lost
just
the
You
last
don't,
6
you don't,
games.
hold
You
on. Not
lost the
only
last.
that, you don't beat tough competition. You don't even stare them in the face.
Yeah.
it,
You
You
lost
look
the
at them
last 6
side eye.
games. You
it's
lost
just
the
You
last
bad.
stand
6
right
games.
beside them and look at them side eye.
That's a
Like,
little
don't hit me.
delusional. You see what I'm saying? That's
And
a
if we
little
pick
delusional.
him, could you imagine if we lose him going to the crowd and crying in his mother arms,
That's
or the memes that would even be up there like that? I don't have time for that.
do you know what the Cowboy fans would do?
I'm right. That's what I'm saying. I don't have time for that, bro. Me personally, I would watch other games. Y'all would have to call me and tell me what's going on, because I don't know if I would. I'm gonna watch it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna watch it. But as
If I
soon as he
want a Dennis
started doing
Rodman,
that,
I'll watch basketball.
That's what he's going to end up being, the Dennis
You know, if I
Rodman.
want a
And
Dennis
ho
Rodman, I'll watch
ho 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 ho
basketball.
ho ho. How many rings Dennis got?
no,
If
but
he
I
gonna
ain't gonna
be,
say no. I don't
I'm
No,
mean
about
in
to
this.
say
Hold
I'm
up.
talking about the attitude.
I don't
I'm not
mean in
talking
this.
about that.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
talking about the
right,
antics and all
right.
of that
nah,
craziness.
nah, nah. We can name a bunch of other players that had. We can say the Ron Artest, maybe the Ron Artest, maybe the Ron Artest.
He got rings too.
Yeah,
Ron Test got rings
he
too.
only
You
got
know,
one. He only got
he got
one.
one. Yeah. Hey, it's more than what Caleb Williams going to win, in my opinion.
Dennis got multiple, and if Caleb
Right,
ended up with the right team, I think Caleb has some skills. I'm not gonna hold you; he got some skills, but I think his arrogance, and I think what
right.
teams are going to try, if he can survive this season, that's now. This is the thing, and I'm gonna say this on record now, and I'm gonna stop. I'll get off of everything. If he survives this season without getting injured, because he's going to get hit something crazy, I promise you his welcome to the NFL hit is going to be wild. If he survives this season and plays well, please beware that he is going to be a problem wherever he is, because he's going to get attempted murdered by every single defensive player that goes against him. And I don't think a quarterback is going to be this hunted since I thought what was happening to RG3 his second season.
Yeah. I still don't think he's going to win. I still don't think.
No. I just say if. I just
Yeah.
say if. I
Yeah,
don't think
even
so
if he
either.
survives,
I
I
don't
don't
think.
see it.
No,
Yeah.
if he survives it, I believe he will be tough as nails. And if someone can coach him and he doesn't have, like, he has an okay season and he just survives it, I think he'll be okay. Because, like I said, I don't think anybody will have that many attempted murders ever happen to them
Yeah.
playing football, bro. And if he survive it, I think he's going to feel invincible. That's what I'm saying. That would be scary if he feels like everybody threw their best punch at him and he survived it. I think that would make a dog out of anybody. But I don't think that that'll happen. I'm just saying that's more of an if of us drafting him.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully that pup can wherever he go, that pup can do it in dog years. You know, because you too damn big to be hopping up in your mother arms like you're a toddler.
You too
Yeah.
big to
I'm
be in the
sorry.
NFL with fingernail polish on, bro.
Yeah.
Fingernail polish,
Yeah.
all that big wild stuff he be doing. Like nah,
That
son.
might make his draft
Y'all
stock
already know
slip.
how we go here in the city. We ain't going for that big goofy shit.
I told you Merle Hodge talked back, bro. If y'all anytime y'all want to, bro, look at somebody insult a black man, bro. I almost was insulted like he was talking about us as a culture. No. I don't mean this in any racial way. I don't mean in a racial that Merle Hodge is in any way a racist or anything. That is not what I just said or meant at all. What I am saying is that I've never seen a football player, a former football player, what is considered a former great, even if it's through him analyzing the game, his days in playing, the way he looks at it, the way he covers it, he is a great in football to me, from my and everything like that. The way that he played, the way that he spoke on Caleb Williams was of a dislike, as if he committed a crime. I've never seen anybody talk about any kid, especially at the quarterback position, that had national recognition, who is a former Heisman Trophy winner. You don't hear those guys get talked bad about. Johnny Manziel with the money thing. They thought he was too flashy, but they even went along with it and tried to do the same thing to say, all right, man, look, you know what? This is Johnny Manziel. Let's stop being so hard. Like, they even tried to work with it. He didn't. He talked so bad about this kid, bro. I almost feel like if Chicago does not pick him, his draft stock may drop really bad. Unless his pro day is amazing, his stock is going to drop.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well. I mean, you don't want to bring no problem, because if you talk like that about the organization, about this, that, imagine how you're going to treat other people in your life.
And he's just talking about any organization that he goes to. It's not just,
Yeah,
it's anybody. So like Vito say, and y'all said, target on your back, buddy.
Yeah,
You ready for that shape up?
I don't think he's going to survive well in the locker room, in the NFL locker room, with that type of attitude. With the
he better be lucky he ain't in the locker room with Brian Dawkins. That. Or Brian Mitchell. Because they ain't going for it.
Can you imagine saying that at the time when Lawrence Taylor played football?
Man, what?
Yeah.
If you on it, but imagine saying this if you on the Giants, and then imagine saying this if you not on the Giants and you got to play them week 1. Man, put the ambulance on the sideline with them. What you talking about?
Yeah, that's gonna be tragic. Yeah,
that's like threatening MC Hammer. You're gonna get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And see, people just heard me say that, like MC Hammer. Y'all don't know. Go check him out. Go check out who MC Hammer is. Y'all looking at the pants dancing around the stage. Y'all know the person.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, man. It's the Nature Show, the Nature Sports Podcast, man. We giving y'all that nice free agency. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get y'all up to date and keep y'all up to date, on what we got going on. You know what I'm talking about. So, I'm gonna sign off. Oh, you got something to say, Vito? Something else?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm gonna sign it off. You know what I'm saying? It's ETA Money Row. I'm signing off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let the guys, finish it on up.
All right, Point B, I'm out.
Uptown Vito, you know what it is. Enjoy the night.
It's your boy Big Son. Let it be known that Kendall Fuller is the #1 free agent on the market right now. And I'm signing out, baby.
Yes, indeed. See y'all tomorrow. Another day of free agency.
Yep.
Ready.